This one goes out to the one and only, the big cat, the fat cat. Big ups. I first saw you in Burger King. You took 2 seats cause that ass is way too big. Had a boyfriend, I realized, but you told him lies with your raccoon eyes. The DoorDash is here. Wipe away your tears. Got you extra fries, and they taste just right. Have no fear, there's no trolls here. Kevin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Kevin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Take you power walking on the beach, feasting on some sushi like you were the queen. Let me run some errands while you sleep. I can watch you play Skyrim all day this week. Have no fear, there's no trolls here. Kevin made you cry with those raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Kevin made you cry
with those raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Raccoon eyes. Woo!
In reality, like I tell you guys, every day when I wake up, that's the best day of my life.
Walk one. Wherever you're at right now, hold on to someone that you love. Kiss them on the cheek for me. Tell them that you love them. Make sure they're of age. No Dalia business out here. And make sure you ask for permission. No Brian Callen business out here. Let's love and hug each other. I'm out of breath. That little dance move I did. You can tell what unfit I am. But yeah, well, go on. Back to the random show. Episode what? I think number 84 I said, I think of the title, right? Episode number 84 of the random show. Big up all my family. Big up everybody in the stream chat. Big up Koila. Big up Glass. Big up Uj. Right? Big up Kilo Salamanca. Big up Queso Moses. Right? You're all my raccoon eyes. I love you all. Let's do this. Woo! We bike. We bike. We are bike. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you are well. That's a little bit of an intro there. Big up Meerkat Inc. for the Raccoon Iron song. Absolute banger. I recommend everybody, please, if you haven't already, I recommend you check it out. I'm going to get up here on the screen again one more time so you can see the name of it. That is the name of it, of the song. Let me get up on the thing. Please make sure you check it out. Raccoon Eyes by Meerkat Inc. It's an absolute banger. I have it in my head all the time. It's an absolute banger. It will stay in your head and you can play it and smash it out. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. But here we are. Random Show episode number 84. Many things to discuss. Many things to get involved with. So if you are where you are, grab yourself some sort of drink. I've got a nice, frosted bottle here of Evian, right? I kind of like Evian. I'm a fan of it. Not too bad. Not as big as my head, but you know the vibes. And yeah, sipping on that, getting all nice and cheery and doing the damn thing. We are back to the random show today. So all of you guys are upset saying, you're talking about too much fashion. I don't care about Balenciaga. Shut up about these shoes. Stop it. You're talking too fast. Yeah. I'm back here now for you, okay? I'm back now. I'm back. Random Show's back. If you wanted to laugh at comedians, if you wanted to point and laugh at dumb things people do online, I'm your guy. This is the show, all right? We are back in the sector again. So thank you everyone for joining me. Make sure if you haven't already that you're smashing that like button down below if you're enjoying the show as we progress. If you don't enjoy it, of course dislike it. If you want to subscribe and and join me later on for other things, then of course that would be amazing. You could always click the channel link as well, the AgostinhoZinga show, and it'll take you to my main YouTube homepage. And underneath there, you'll see on the homepage there'll be 2 other channels: there's my DJ channel and also a Random Show channel. So make sure you subscribe to the Random Show channel, because what I'm gonna do with this live stream that you're watching right now, this one right now, is that I'm going to stream it, of course, let it sit, let it ride, let it get some views, then I'm going to unlist it like everyone else does, and then re-upload it on the Random Show channel so it can build up that side of things. So if you want to see it in full and get it replayed, then make sure you hop over to the Random Show channel. So make sure you click the little link, click my little head, and then go to the channel, see Random Show, subscribe, the vibes, But anyway, big up everybody in the stream chat, big up Ryan Swayze, big up my guy Dark Web J, big up Brian in there also, big up Koila, everybody, Uche, Tottenham, Teacher, what's that other person here? Kilo Salamanca, everybody, big up, and thank you so much for joining me. It's going to be a bit of a fun one. There's been interesting developments, some fun developments we can go through, and then we're going to just keep on smashing on. I still have the plan. I'll probably have to do a poll later to see if you guys are down with it. But my plan later is to still do like, as I mentioned before, somebody in my Discord, again, join the Discord if you haven't already, said something that really stuck with me about if you want to take the piss out of something, you have to watch it. So, what I'm going to do going forward now, of course you can get a shout out. What's her name? Joe Die La Flame. Big up Joe Die La Flame. You can always get a shout out. Of course, you can get a shout out. I don't charge for shout outs here like fucking DSP and Wings of Redemption. All right, shout outs are free around here. None of that charging shit. Anyway, so somebody said something that stuck with me in the Discord, and they said, "Hey, if you want to take the piss out of stuff, you have to watch it." And I agree. So now going forward, I'm going to sacrifice myself, my mental capabilities, my brain power, and I'm going to commit to watching the Fighter and the Kid, in full on live stream. So I'm going to react to it live in a moment. It might make my brain rot because I've legitimately haven't listened to it in full in maybe 5+ years. I'm not even lying. It's been a long time since I've been homeless. I've not listened to it basically, which has probably been about 5 to 6 years. So it's going to be a big thing for me to do, and it's going to really hurt my soul and stuff. But in an effort to provide content and to be of service to you guys, my viewers, I'm going to do it. So definitely make sure you join me in that one. So if you do see me sitting here looking bored out of my face, watching the Fighter and the Kid in full, it's not a surprise. It's not like a it's not like a random thing. It's something I'm going to continue doing just so that I can kind of come from it from the most honest point of view possible, and I'm not just taking the clips and the narrative that's being set on the flipping Fighter and the Kid subreddit, even though they're quite accurate. I don't want to just go by what they're going to say. I want to try and interpret it in my own way. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the vibe. Anyway, enough of all that disclaimer. Let's get in with the show. We're already waffling mad, and someone's already, cussed at me already in the comments. Oh, you talk too much. Let the clips play. I'm like, brother, like, who watches live streams? And then, because usually when I watch live streams, I usually have got an idea on the clip that someone's watching or something they're going to talk about. I maybe know of it. I maybe haven't checked it out. I can't be bothered. But when someone talks about it, I'm like, okay, I'll listen to it if someone else is commenting along the way. But some people, I guess, they don't see clips and they don't see things online. So they only see it when you upload the clip. So then when they see my face pop up, they're like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's some guy talking. Do you know what I mean? So they get annoyed. And obviously I'm there rambling, and they get proper pissed off. I'm like, brothers, look, all you need to do is just search for the clip itself, watch it yourself, and then you don't need me anymore. You know what I mean? I'm out of the picture, but hey, what can you do? Moving on. So here we go. Let's go. Yes, big up Hassie's B. Big up Hassie B, actually. Hassie B. Big up. So moving on to the show. Let's get right on it. Let's jump on the thing, right? Number one thing I want to talk about here. I know nothing about football, but I thought this was absolutely hilarious, considering everything that's been happening, right? It says, Rich Eisen, keep an eye on Tom Brady unretiring. This motherfucker just does not want to let it go, innit? Like, what is it about football that is that appealing to somebody like this? That's achieved absolutely everything. He's the GOAT, and he still does not want to give it up. He sacrificed his family, his marriage for the game. Completely, from what I could see, his last team he was at, he kind of, it kind of didn't work out in the end. And he didn't really, I think he was injured towards the end also. And now, even though he retired, he says he might unretire. Absolutely wild. And from what I know, the one he wants to play for, I think, is the Dolphins, right? And they're really bad, aren't they? The Dolphins, are they really shit? But anyway, let's continue. The GOAT may not be out of pasture after all. Rich Eisen, the NFL network anchor, spent the week in Indianapolis and dished out on several rumors that have been heard by the NFL scouting combine, including a juicy one concerning a possible Tom Brady unretirement. This is one just blew my mind. Tom Brady might not be done after all. A couple people are like, hang on, just you wait. And I was like, he's Instagramming out pictures of his cat, but it doesn't look like he's getting big and fat, does it? Let it play out. Let's see who wants it. Let's see who wants what. Oh, okay. So I guess they're saying the fact that he's not getting big and fat, I guess in the NFL, because I'm assuming because the training is so freaking brutal, when people do retire, the first thing you notice when they do retire, similar to like football, we have the same thing here in the UK with football. When a really high level person's playing football and they retire, the first thing you see within the first month is they gain loads of weight, because finally now they're not having to wake up at like 6 a.m. every morning to go to training. They don't have to eat chicken and broccoli every day. They can just pig out and do what, you know, regular people do, not athletes. So I guess the fact that Tom Brady is posting like first traps of himself naked, looking in fucking fantastic shape, right, with little panties on and shit, in his massive condo apartment, or, you know, massive looking lovely loft building somewhere, it probably means that, you know, he might be eyeing something like, you know what, he's got something going on there. He got something going on there. Continuing here, look at him looking chiseled and stuff. Let's continue, scroll out, let me read the other bit of the article here. Oh, this is him, Rich Eisen, talking there about it. It continues here. The one place that folks are saying to keep an eye on is Miami. If the Dolphins somehow or some way get a doctor's report or a piece of information for a medical evaluation of Tua Tagovailoa, I guess that's the guy that got injured, right? Tua. I saw something online about him getting injured. That he may not be ready to go, and suddenly there's Tom Brady sitting in Florida where his family's located and where he can easily locate himself. Oh, keep an eye on that. I was told by a couple birdies at the combine. While the Buccaneers won the NFC on the South and made a playoff, Brady had his first losing year as a starter this season, and the team got bounced by the Cowboys in a 31-14 drubbing in the wild card round of the playoffs. Hey, he looks fucking good. He looks in good nick though, doesn't he? 2022, like, I mean, that's a 40-year-old plus man, but he keeps himself in good fucking nick. That's what happens when you kiss your son on the lips. You know what I mean, you absorb all his flipping young, you know, young juices. Let's continue here. Brady retired in a video on the set on the beach. Thereafter, he also retired last off season before changing his mind and embarking on the first season of the Bucs. The Dolphins have gone after Brady before and got dinged by the NFL by tampering investigation of troubles. This part journalist ESPN Adam Schefter reported that Dolphins no longer had interest in pushing Brady. So, what's going on there, man? Like, what is it about that sport of NFL or football in general that hooks guys this much, legit? Or is he just one of those freaks? Is he like a freak, like a Tiger Woods and shit, that are just driven by the sport alone and nothing else? And that's all they live for. Everything else comes second. Because Tom Brady legit did the ultimate sacrifice. He sacrificed his family, or maybe his marriage, not his family, but you know what I mean about family. But his marriage for the sport. He was like, you know what? I know I promised you I'll give it one more year and then I'll be a family man. I've changed all that. I'm gonna do something else. You can go do your own thing and do your hot girl summer and go to Brazil and go do the carnival on your own and have your new toy boy. I think because she's dating some jiu-jitsu guy. You can do your life, but I want to play football. Even though, you know, it's unlikely that he'll probably reach another Super Bowl final. You would imagine, given his age and whatnot, especially given the team he's gonna play for. But imagine if he takes the fucking Miami Dolphins to the Super Bowl. Imagine that. Woo-hoo-hoo. Imagine, and he wins it. That would be absolutely, that was what you'll cement you. But I guess that's what you want if you're a sportsman, isn't it? Of his kind of level. You're seeking for, what's that thing called? Immortality. And if you can go to a pretty underperforming, crappy team like the Dolphins, like I'm led to believe, again, I don't know much about NFL, but I always know people are always ripping on the Dolphins. If he can do that at the Dolphins, that's going to be a major W in his book. And that will cement his legacy forever and ever. Do you know what I mean? This guy, he's what, ripe old age? What is he, like 41, 44 or something? It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I just saw that and I was like, Jesus, man, this guy's really about the game, innit? And nothing else. Nothing else. He's going to retire. He's retired and he's going to unretire once more just to set the record straight and kind of go out on the high. And even then, he might not retire. He might just keep going until it's kind of like physically not possible for him to keep going. That might be also a thing. You never know. Or it's just not surprised nowadays also, isn't it? With medical advances and whatnot, it's just not surprised that guys nowadays are probably able to kind of, what's that word called? They're able to play for so long in their career as their years progress. Maybe when it was, in years gone by, advances weren't where they needed to be. People didn't know much about health and nutrition and whatnot. Maybe the information wasn't there. So, when you did hit 30, you legitimately felt like your body was crumbling. But nowadays, people hit 30 and it's like nothing happened. You know what I mean? Hit 40, and if you keep yourself clean and you keep, you stay off the juice. Not stay off the juice, but you stay off the booze and the alcohol for the most part, and you live a somewhat balanced lifestyle, you can play into your very, very, very own edge. Anyway, moving on. Talking about this topic, I want to quickly mention this, right? So there's this thing I saw on the Daily Mail, and then I saw someone talk about no jumper. So this is the article. So on Daily Mail, I saw this article. It says, now Oregon considers a monthly $1,000 no strings attached payments for homeless residents as other democratic cities and states hand out cash as part of a universal basic income pilot scheme that would cost US $33 trillion if every city would follow suit. The bill would give cash to homeless or low-income residents until January 2026, and it would cost $14.6 million a month based on current homeless figures. Other democratic cities across the United States have also tried a similar program. Now, this isn't such a big deal to me because in the UK we've always had some sort of benefits in that regard. Now it's called universal credit. So if you're out of work, you can basically claim, I think it's basically up to £1,000. And then I think you can also put in for subsidies to help you pay for your housing costs and whatnot. And what basically happens is that everyone that works, like myself included, that money that they kind of give people if they don't have work, that comes out from your taxes. So it's kind of like the people that are in work are paying for the ones that are kind of out of work, but it's kind of a small amount that gets out of your taxes all the time. But it also obviously helps you if you're out of work, that you got something to kind of fall back on if you do need some money to kind of hold you over. But it's not as like, oh, here's the money and run. There's like loads of things that you have to kind of do. You have to kind of commit to what they call them. You have to commit to some sort of like you have to basically commit to a job search. And I think every week you go and check in with somebody, and they basically make sure you're applying for places. If you need help to write your CV, if you need, I don't know, numbers to call, agencies and stuff, they'll do it. So it's not just they just give you the money and that's it. You have to kind of keep up those commitments. If you don't, you can get penalized or you can not get payments and shit. So it's kind of on you to kind of make sure they kind of follow through on that. So it comes with some sort of like, responsibility to kind of do your part of things. But for whatever reason, I don't know why it is about America, but you guys in America don't seem to react well to this sort of stuff. It seems to be things that kind of divide people like right down the middle, especially when people were talking about universal basic income at the kind of middle of the pandemic when people were out of work and whatnot, and it was hard to get work. Nowadays, low paying jobs are obviously paying much better than they were before. Maybe the job market is a bit tight, but the jobs that are available are paying very, very handsomely. So the onus is probably on you to probably get a job as opposed to be on benefits, because why would you be happy just making 1,000 sitting on your ass if you could possibly make 3,000 working, 36 hours a week, which isn't too much really in all ways, shapes or forms, or even 50 hours a week. I mean, at least you're going to be able to make friends and stuff and feel a bit rewarded and kind of gratified in that regard. But for whatever reason, with you Americans, it seems to really, 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 really cut down the middle between you guys. Like, you don't seem to like it at all when people talk about universal basic income and getting money for free, or quote unquote. And one example is this guy Yuri from No Jumper, who had a very weird, I think, interpretation of the news, and also point, especially when you consider what he does for money, like as a job. So let's play what Yuri had to say about that same article about, Oregon and other states basically implementing a £1,000 payment, no strings attached, to homeless people and people that are low income, or just people that are out of jobs and whatnot. Here's Yuri's impression of it.
All right, guys, next on the news, I have a couple things to say about this. We have Oregon. Oregon will be passing a bill, so a proposed Oregon bill will provide homeless population $1,000 per month that recipients could use to their own discretion. The bill introduced last month would establish People's Housing Assistance Fund demonstration program to give 12 monthly $1,000 payments to those suffering from homelessness and who are on the brink of becoming homeless. And then right here in quotations it says payment may be used for rent, emergency expenses, food, childcare, and other goods and services of the participants' choosing. And here's my opinion on this whole thing. Let me know what you guys think. And here's also, it's like I've kind of talked about similar things to this on on my podcast as well. And people will be like, "Oh, you're so harsh on the homeless people, blah blah, all that stuff." No, guys, I'm very open to helping people. You know what I mean? I'm like, I have a heart just like any other human does. It's like you want to help people, all that stuff. I've lived in Los Angeles for a long time, guys. And I've known a lot of homeless people. A lot of homeless people are not really like fucking desperately trying to get a job, especially when the government is there facilitating and providing all their fucking needs and any services they could potentially want. And I just honestly think that when you have people relying on the government for money or whatever it is, it's a negative situation in the end, because a lot of times people get complacent and they get used to it, and they will purposely find a job or other forms of income that are under the table so they could continue getting payment from this. It kind of like, I feel like it limits a person more than it does help a person at the end of the day.
$1,000 not finna help no homeless person get nowhere to stay.
Facts, especially
$1,000 is not finna do shit.
I don't know about Oregon though. Oregon might be more.
Can we see the average rent for Oregon, for rent in Oregon?
So anyway, you get the gist, right? Yuri's basically not a fan for any social system that basically allows people to, on the lowest rungs of society to kind of get themselves back up on the ladder or get themselves back on their feet. The funny thing about it is that this Yuri guy, if I'm not mistaken, this Yuri guy from No Jumper is very well known. Let's see push-ups. Is very well known for being a live streamer. He creates content online, and essentially his entire living is made from making videos like I do, and from also doing I saw Yuri push-ups, so it's not there. And from also doing like challenges and shit. I forgot what's his channel name. I forgot anyway. Don't know what his name is actually. Let's see. Yuri No Jumper. Let's see how it goes. But essentially, he gets online. He streams like I do, and you'll do like, oh, I'm gonna drink a certain drink, and then you're gonna tip me, and then I'm going to be able to make some sort of tip goal, or I'm going to do push-ups and stuff like that kind of level of streamer, right? Dancing on stream and doing all that sort of madness, right? Okay, cool. Do what you need to do. But essentially, that's what he does. And sometimes you might even dye his hair a certain color based on how much people pay him on stream. His idol, for instance, is flipping Ice Poseidon, whose entire career is kind of, resting on donations of his fan base. And Ice Poseidon's even a worse example, because Ice Poseidon was caught in that massive scam where he essentially scammed his fans. I think it was from some crypto thing. I don't know what it was, but he scammed them and then he didn't want to pay them back. Like, he basically fessed up to the scam and was like, yeah, I had to do it because I needed the money, basically. So he kind of purposely and willingly scammed his fans. And of course, his scams, being the dollars they are, continue supporting him. But that's basically his idol. His idol is that guy who kind of championed and spearheaded those kind of IRL kind of streaming things. And he also streams, specifically kind of with the idea of, with the idea, people say no, it's crypto scam, with the idea specifically of making his income from donations. Oh, that's kind of his entire life. It's kind of based on that. It's not even like trying to work a regular job like I do and do this stuff on the side. No, it's all about streaming online and hoping you get enough tips or subscribers to kind of make sure that you're kind of on float. So someone like that to have such a weird and a real skewed opinion on the whole Oregon handing out $1,000 to homeless is really bizarre to me. But it's not uncommon for whatever reason, because the first thing I thought about was Caitlyn Jenner, right? Caitlyn Jenner, sorry, how do you pronounce her fucking name? Basically coming out after Bruce went, transitioned over to being flipping Caitlyn. And then, everyone's thinking, oh, Caitlyn Jenner's now going to be an advocate for LGBTQ, queer people, trans people. No, actually, she came out with that famous line, I'm more of a traditional kind of girl, right? And everyone was like, what? How can you be like trans and, living this sort of lifestyle, but then you're incredibly right wing? But I think that's kind of common. People that sort of like live a lifestyle that's very, one way, but then their politics are a complete other way. For instance, basically Yuri's, life is basically subsidized by his fans, which you could say is more of a liberal side of things. But then his politics are maybe leaning on the right-hand side of things, which is really odd. But then I also don't think it's a specific thing to him. I think in general, Americans just don't respond well to the idea of the government putting into place systems that kind of help people on the bottom rungs of society, because people kind of talk about this thing a lot. And again, I'm a good example of it. Like, I've worked my entire life. For the most part, I came from a low, kind of a poverty-stricken sort of area, low income household. there was no money to like buy stuff that I kind of needed. So quite quickly on when I was young, I kind of figured out, oh, if I want the stuff that I want, you know, and I've always been into clothes and shoes and stuff, I had to work basically, or just figure it out. There was no mummy getting me flipping, you know, trainers. She might buy me one trainer, but if I wanted 4, I have to buy the other 4 myself, kind of thing. Do you get what I mean? So with that, I kind of always worked, but and I actually like working. I actually enjoy going to work. I actually enjoy being part of a team. I actually enjoy contributing to something, a project, whatever it may be. And I also slightly enjoy the structure it gives me, even when it's to do with YouTube and to do with DJing and to do with podcasting. I like the fact that I have a 9 to 5, and after I come back home, I've got all these hours to do other things I want to do in my day. I kind of like that sort of like balance it gives me. But I'm also understanding that just because I'm like that doesn't mean everyone's like that. So there might be people out there who just don't vibe with working. It's just not their thing. They maybe don't have the skills or the education, and maybe being able to give them £1,000 a month for them to kind of look after themselves to a certain extent, but then it's still not enough for you to like splash out. For instance, £1,000 in London ain't gonna go far. Even £900 doesn't matter. Even if you get subsidized government housing, even if your rent is like 300 quid, you're still not left with that much to kind of account for your bills, to kind of account for your hobbies and whatnot. It's still not a lot. So that £1,000, I feel like, is good enough to cover your bare necessities, but it still gives you room to kind of go out there and get more work. The issue I have with these schemes, mostly, in my opinion, the issue I have is that what they do, especially in the United Kingdom, do the same thing. With universal basic income, I'm pretty sure you get like so imagine if you get the highest grade, imagine you get the highest allowance. Let's say you get like £1,000 a month. In the UK, what they do is that if you then go get a part-time job, whatever you get from that part-time job, they will minus that off of what you receive from the government. So then basically it kind of negates getting a part-time job, which is why people do the whole thing. That's people saying now in the chat, people just get the benefits and don't want to work because it's cheaper, it's more beneficial financially to not work. Yeah, because the government kind of docks you if you get a job, especially if it's part-time. I think what they should do, give people £1,000, but then say if you get a job that's over a certain amount of hours, that's when we'll dock you. But not if you just get any job, even if it's 1 day a week, we're going to dock you. No, maybe make it like, I don't know, 22 hours. If you get a job that's 22 hours, then we'll dock you, and then we'll kind of slowly but surely wean you off of universal credit so you can go full-time in your workplace. But I think people that don't have the capabilities or the need or the want to kind of work full-time, if they don't want to work full-time, I think they should be given that £1,000. But that £1,000 doesn't mean you're rich. You still have to, maybe if you want to go on holiday and stuff, you might have to make the extra 500 working part-time. But then I don't think they should take out the 500 from your 1,000 so that then you're basically left with 1,000 again like you started, because you're back in the same loop. That's the issue I have with it when it comes to this sort of stuff. And like I said before, just to make it clear, I just don't think like, just because everybody's working a 9 to 5, I don't think everyone should make a 9 to 5. So I don't think everyone should be having to work a 9 to 5. And there's different circumstances for it and whatever else it may be. That's just my theory in it. Anyway, everyone can have a different one. We continue here, the article. It says Oregon is considering giving a vast homeless and low-income population $1,000 no strings attached. Sorry. The bill was proposed last month by woke Senator. Oh, look at the Daily Mail inserting their politics here. By woke Senator Winsley, or whatever. How you said that? Wellsive Campos, who was among those calling to abolish the police. Okay, I don't agree with abolishing the police. That's absolutely insane. In the summer of 2020, when the city of Portland was being sieged by protesters and Republican Con Pam. Oregon maybe is not the best example in it because they're a bit freaky over there. I don't agree with abolishing the police. That's an insane thing to be pushing. The bill is not the first of its kind. Similar experiments have been carried out in other democratic cities like Chicago, Tacoma, Gainesville, and despite their gargantuan price tag, the Oregon payments would last until January 2026. So again, this isn't forever. It's just a temporary thing, and cost the city at least $14.6 million a month based on current homeless figures. In reality, the cost would be even higher. The bill also proposes that any household spending more than 50% of monthly income on the rent should be eligible also. Shit, a lot of people are going to get it, innit? Goddamn. Homeless tenants outside of Portland. Of course, that's not great. And then it says here, according to the legislation put forward last month, payments may be used for rent and emergency expenses and food and childcare and other goods and services and participant choosing. The bill is currently being debated in the Oregon Senate Committee. The bill would also require a study on those who receive the payments, breaking out in more to certain demographics such as race, veteran status, and the risk of domestic violence. A special program was implemented with Vancouver, BC in Canada 2018 with homeless participation receiving 7,500 in each. Stockton, California, where employment figures among the others rose. So, what do you guys think about this? Personally, I heard what's his face? I heard Yuri saying that his main issue was that homeless people, some of them just don't want to be helped. They're just gonna take the money and buy drugs. I don't really care about that, to be fair. I don't know what world people live in where they think they're gonna rehabilitate every single homeless person. Some people just want to live like a vagrant. Some people just want to live unhoused. They want to live, you know, whatever. Like that fucking crazy lifestyle of being homeless is not easy. It's not a walk in the park, for instance. So if some people choose to do that with their right mind, let them do it. I'm sure a lot of those people suffer from mental health issues and whatnot. I'm sure, you know, drug abuse and abuse in general is definitely rampant. But there are some people who just decide to just tap out. They'd rather not just, you know, live a quote unquote normal life, and they just want to live, you know, however they live outside. So I think if people, or if the government decide, hey, we don't want to leave these guys behind and give them some ability to kind of partake in society and buy things and stuff, I don't think that's a bad thing, personally, in my opinion. I don't see that's a bad thing. If anything, what they should do is be cleaning up places, maybe giving them areas where homeless people can kind of reside, all intents and purposes. But this idea that you're going to rehabilitate every single homeless person, you're going to get them a house, you're going to get them a car and shit, is absolutely insane. They're going to suddenly have a family and have a dog and whatnot. That's wild. Some people just don't want that lifestyle. And they've chosen it for themselves. I don't think there's any amount of government help that's going to get them off the streets, personally, in my opinion. So if that's the case, what do? Do you just leave them on the streets? Do you go around, like Rogan said, and shoot them all? Like, what do you do? Like, they're still citizens. Do you know what I mean? They're still our fellow citizens as well. Like, I think that there should be some level of help there. And if they want to flip and go and spend it all on gear and drugs and stuff, let them in it. I don't know. That's me. Let them. That's my opinion. I guess it's different if you live in an area, because I know my area, we had an issue in my area for a bit where out of nowhere, a whole group of homeless people just set up camp outside the shopping mall that we live in, or next to where I live. And the whole area just started to stink like piss and vomit, and just homeless people stink, right? And it just kind of attracted a whole different vibe to the shopping mall. It kind of made it really sketchy for people because it just turned intense really quickly, because the whole community of them kind of descended there. And I'm sure they started calling other people and telling them to come down, because it was a nice little area. It was kind of like under a bridge, so it kind of was protected from the elements. It was also next to a station, so it was kind of, you know, safe in terms of, you know, avoiding people maybe getting robbed and whatnot. So it was kind of a nice area, so I get that. And obviously that was a big concern for people that lived around there, myself included. But then over time, the police kind of did what they need to do and kind of moved those guys across, or moved those guys away from that area. But I'm sure they just set up camp somewhere else. It's not like they got housed anywhere. But also, I don't think if they don't want to be housed, they should be forced to be housed. Do you know what I mean? That's why I kind of stand on it. I don't know if you guys agree. I'm not too sure. People are saying in the chat, what are you guys saying in the chat? Because I think maybe I'm waffling on this one and I'm probably out of my depth. What are you guys saying here? Let's see here. Exception, the rule, force. They send out homeless a bat signal. People that want to be homeless are a minority. People have got many problems like all of us. Exactly. I agree with that. Fly Society. Mr. West says, for these churches, for nobody uses them. Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea. Exactly, Mr. West. Let's reuse some of these buildings, like these churches, these office blocks and stuff, and house homeless people. Especially buildings that are like in between getting handed over. I know obviously they wouldn't accept it, but if there's a building that's being in the process of being sold and it's empty for a long time, that in between period, you should be definitely handing that building off to like a homeless shelter or homeless organization to get people to be housed there like temporarily. That definitely should be happening in my opinion. But again, what do I know? Severa Design says, King it or Sting it be. Pissing. Okay, cool. Charles Lucas says, I think the bigger picture is to reduce or educate homeless. You need more support structures to keep them off the street rather than to get them cash fix. Yeah, for sure. But I think you could do, hey, Modest Grower, thank you for the $20.
What beer you getting and what's ket? Enjoy.
Yes, Modest Grower, I appreciate you. Thank you for the $20 Canadian dollar super chat. What beer I'm getting? I'm a bit of a basic bitch, to be fair. I normally just drink Kronenberg, but at the moment I'm also into this drink. I'm gonna quickly show you. I'm not sure if you got it over there. I'm into this one. Let me see. I'll show you. Guinness Black. Is it Guinness Black Lager? Is that the one? For instance, all the Caribbean guys and African dudes in my area drink it, because I go to this barber that's like a Ghanaian guy, And for the last couple of years, I've been drinking it now. Like, kind of, those guys are really good influencers. They sold it, man. They made it look amazing. Is it? I think it's like Black Gold. Let me see. Hey, another super chat, £1.99. Thank you, man.
JST put a vid out. Can you watch and tell me what you think?
JST, who's JST? JST. Who's JST, the Clipper? Thank you for the $1.99, my friend. Who's JST? Of course I'll watch it. Who's JST? Let me know who JST is and I'll get it up. Where can I see it here? Oh, I don't know which one it is. Okay, it's not here anyway. But anyway, what's your name? The guy's name here. What did he say? Modest Grower. So I usually like to drink something along this kind of line. It's not this exactly. Oh, no, that's it. I think it's a stout. I think it's a stout. Is it a stout? Is it the stout? Yeah, that's the one I drink. I think it's that one. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. Yes, this is the one. I've got it. Cool. So this is what I drink usually. The Grower. I drink this. It's called see, Guinness Nigerian Foreign. This thing. Ooh, it's good, bro. And the cat, I just get what I can get. To be fair, I just call up my guy, allegedly someone that may match in my description. I call them and I get what I need to get. I just put okay. You put it out the clip. Okay, cool, the clip. I'll check out your channel now. That's what I do. I'm going to explain what the cat is. Exactly, yeah. I just get my cat where I get it from. Yeah, should I get up the kind of what I get? I don't get the I don't get the rice. I get the shards. But yeah, that's the Guinness that I'm kind of on at the moment. Anyway, let me stop with the Guinness talk. I'm gonna start getting thirsty. But yeah, let's move on. Enough of the homeless chat. Let's move on from that one. We did that one already. Oh yeah, let's see this one. Let's check this one out. Oh yeah, and let me note that down as well. Let me see. What do you say? Let me put that on my list of my stuff. The Clipper YouTube channel, and JST, right? And I think that who's by the way, who's JST? Oh, Jess on Fire. Okay, look for Jess on Fire in this. Okay, look for Jesse on Fire. Caught in Sting. Okay, cool. Boom. Got it on my list. Back to the show. So, talking about working, talking about getting $1,000 for free and whatnot. Mate, working low level service jobs is hell. I've done it myself. Like, I've worked in all stages, from bars to pubs to retail stores and stuff, and it was awful. At the time, I had fun, don't get me wrong. I think you meet some of the best people that you ever meet when you work those kinds of jobs, especially if you work them young. I think, I've still got some lifelong friends that I've known from that period of time when I was working in stores and stuff and bars and clubs and whatnot. And I'm still friends with them to this day. And obviously it's good education. It's like going to college. If you don't go to college, you don't go to university, a good thing to do is just to get a job, especially if you're super young, like, especially if you drop out of high school or something and you're 15 or 16. Just get a full-time job and it'll probably give you way more education, life experience than any university will. And obviously you start earning money super early, which is great. Imagine because I remember working with people who were like 21 and they were managers of stores because they started working when they were like 17. You know what I mean? It happens quite quickly. But on the other side of things, you sometimes meet absolute nightmare customers, like absolute monsters, and it also makes you lose faith in humanity working those kind of jobs. So it's good for your life experience. It's good for your just character building and whatnot, and obviously put some money in your pocket when you're young. But it definitely makes you lose your faith in humanity. And this is a good example, a little video from the public freak out subreddit of this woman going off on a guy in a restaurant because I think he forgot to put mushrooms or something in a sandwich. Absolutely insane.
30, the fuck?
Hey, you gotta get your girl.
Now he recording me and shit. Why
Yeah, I'm recording myself for my own safety. Exactly what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing it for. Exactly what I'm doing it for.
Why is the problem? You want to ready, right? Because he trying to sit here. It's common knowledge. It's common knowledge. People have mushrooms on thing. Then he called me a bitch. He called me a bitch. So fuck you.
You coming at me heated. You think I'm just gonna sit there and take it? You gonna sit there and call me a bitch talking about my receiving hairline and shit, and you think I'm not gonna call you a bitch? Fuck you.
Have you ever been in a restaurant? All my life, I don't think exactly get your girl, but I don't think I've ever been in a restaurant in my entire life where I've been made to feel that I could get to this kind of level of emotion. There is annoying times in restaurants. You pull up to a place that you've already pre-booked. They don't have your table ready, and they make you wait for an obscene amount of time, like let's say more than 10 minutes. Like, it's like, come on, guys. You know what I mean? Like, why go on for this? that gets annoying, or you just don't, or the other thing I like or I don't like sometimes when you go to restaurants, you roll up to a restaurant and no one attends to you when you get to the front. Everyone's just kind of like doing their thing and they just forget about you for whatever reason. Sometimes you might think it's racial, it probably isn't, but you know, you have to kind of wave that kind of race card. That kind of happens. That's annoying. Or you order something, you know, dodgy comes in. But usually, in most places, doesn't matter where you are, bar, restaurant, night, whatever, yeah, most places that you're interacting with people that are working in some sort of service industry, if you just approach them with kindness and understanding, hey, excuse me, I've got a table booked for 4:30. It's now 4:40 and no one's attended to me yet. Could you see if my table's ready? Someone could quite quickly sort it out. I'm sorry, my bad. We're short-staffed. With my mistake. Apologies. We'll take something off your bill. We'll give you a free drink, free dessert, whatever. They'll get it sorted quite quickly. It's not that difficult. Even if you go to a place and like, oh, I saw the promotion for this sandwich and it had this particular ingredient on the inside. I didn't get it. What's the deal? They might say something, might explain, or if you're nice to them, they might say, hey, don't worry, I'll give you that for free. Or next time, here's a voucher for when you come back. Whatever. You can usually sort issues out just talking calmly. So I never, in my head, I could never picture when I used to work on the other side. So when I was this guy, I could look at customers thinking, how did you get so angry? Like, how did you go from 0 to 100 in a restaurant? What could we have possibly done? Because for me, the only thing that would justify this level of reaction is if I legitimately like looked at you in the eye and started pissing in your sandwich and then closed it and gave it to you. That's the only thing that should make you react this way. But if I messed up your sandwich, if I put ketchup instead of mayo, or if I forgot to include the coffee in your thing, just tell me. Just come to me, tell me calmly, hey dude, would you mind blah, 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 and we'll get it sorted. It's not that big of a deal.
Fuck you. I have self-respect for myself, alright? Fuck you. Alright, cool. Don't come at me. Don't come at people yelling at them like that, calling them shit. It's not expect to be called a bitch, alright?
You call me
don't act like a bitch. People will call you a bitch. Simple as that. There's your Philly. Take your Philly and get out. Take your Philly and leave. Yeah. Embarrassing yourself out here. Look at you. You're embarrassing yourself. I'll post it everywhere. I'll post it everywhere. Post it everywhere. Post it everywhere.
Oh, look. Come on, bro.
Great behavior.
Man. So wild, isn't it? Honestly, I don't get it. If people say in the chat, call it saying chat. Look at her partner. She loves spitting. What's that? Look at her partner. What? Look at her partner. Okay, I think you deleted. Drugs probably. If you laugh, they'll freak the fuck out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he wins. He handled it amazingly. He handled it really, really well. Like, don't come to me with that sort of mess and expect me not to get back to you. That's something as well you always used to realize in stores. Like, whenever someone will come to you with sass in a shop, right? All the time. Usually, if you met them back if you gave them a bit of sass back, a tiny bit of sass back, they were so shocked. Like, how dare you? I'm the customer. It's like, yeah, you're the customer. At the end of the day, I'm also a human. I'm also a young man, a young adult, whatever it may be. Like, I've got emotions myself. Like, you can't just talk to me anyway. And then when you kind of reply to them the same level, they're so caught off guard, as if like you should just be standing there taking all their abuse and not saying an absolute word. It's like, who do you take me for, man? Like, you guys are bugging out, absolutely bugging out. But yeah, I don't know, man. Respect and solidarity to all my guys out there working in the service industry. I've been there. Honestly, it's absolute hell. And customers are probably getting worse than ever before nowadays. And it seems like I always used to think, right, because I kind of left working in the service industry just as social media and all this sort of public freak out stuff took off. And I always imagined that somehow mobile phones would kind of stop people acting crazy in shops, because people wouldn't want to be embarrassed. They wouldn't want anyone to see them acting crazy in the shop. So they kind of keep it like, they kind of keep it cute as possible. But it hasn't. It hasn't done that at all. It hasn't done that at all. If anything, people are worse with the phones. They actually act up with the phones. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. It's like, God almighty, man. Like, come on. Anyway, talking about that. So, I want to know in the chat if there's some very honest people that are very honest and don't lie to myself or to others. Honest people that can honestly say, during this tight financial squeeze we're in at the moment, some people would describe it as a recession. Things are tough out there, right? And whatnot. I want to know from you people out there, have you seen an increase in your, willingness for a 5-finger discount? To conveniently forget to scan something at a self-checkout, maybe have a bite or something as you're walking around a supermarket, maybe just walk out with something, you know, barefaced. Have you noticed an increase in yourself because of what's been going on in the world and in the economy, that now you are more prone to maybe, you know, doing the odd shoplifting or lifting of a shop here and there? Let me know in the chat. Let me know if that's the case. And if not, then enjoy this woman displaying why it's very embarrassing when you shoplift and you get caught, especially if the owner of the store is like this woman and she does not play at all.
You can leave this in here if you're going to pay for all this. I have you on camera. Put it down.
Sure.
Yeah, you're not going to get another card. I can guarantee you, you're not going to get it. Put it down. Let me see if I can grab it for you. Hi.
Hello.
You guys still open your bag?
We're open for about another 5 minutes.
I'm going to go through your bag, or I'm going to call the police. Let me give me your bag. Are you kidding me right now? Open your bag.
I will get off of me.
If the shop owner of where you're stealing from wears workout shorts and workout leggings with workout Nikes with ankle socks and a hoodie, probably don't steal from there. Because she's ready to scrap, she's ready to run, she's ready to wrestle, she's ready to box, everything. She's ready to go. That lady she can swing a mean fucking pair of ropes. Do you know what I mean? Like, she can do some mean flipping goblet squats. You know what I mean? She doesn't fuck around. So that's why you shouldn't be doing that sort of stuff.
Open your bag.
If you see an overweight, fat African dude, then probably you can steal.
Opening it if you'll get off of me, please.
This is all ours. Take it off.
Get off of me, please.
Take it off.
Get off of me, please.
Take it off. You can't just steal my stuff. Bye. Get out. Go. Get out.
Not all yours.
Those are ours. Are you kidding me?
Oh, sorry.
Bye.
Grab those.
What the hell's wrong with you?
What the hell is wrong with you, man?
Oh, that's so embarrassing. What the hell is wrong with you? That's how you actually shame somebody from not stealing anymore. You confront them. You tell them there's no way they're leaving your store until they take everything out they've taken from your store. If not, you're going to call the police. And secondly, in that kind of like silence, in that awkward moment where you're both just standing there and the stuff's on the floor, you're like, what's wrong with you? Why would you do this? This is awful. Do you have any respect? You're embarrassing yourself. You know what I mean? Those kind of things you throw out, someone's going to feel so small and so shameful.
I'm doing my job. They're stealing from us.
He's going to grab my other card. You're being
She's stealing from us. Okay, cool. I initially thought this was like a big chain or something. But if it's an independent store, then I understand this woman's looking after a shop. But I legitimately don't think I've ever loved a job enough to wrestle a customer to not to steal something. And if I worked in a place where they said, oh, part of your KPIs is how many people you can fucking tackle at the front of the shop before they leave with stolen goods, I'm not working there anymore. Do you know what I mean? You're not using my inherent blackness and my big physical frame to kind of intimidate people. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a fucking security guard. I'm just here stacking shelves. Do you know what I mean? I'm just here replenishing the milks and shit. You're not getting me to fucking wrestle somebody and risk banging my head on the floor and bleeding out there from a flipping aneurysm or something. No, I'm not having that at all. Zero.
I am?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, that's the. You're gonna walk out with all this crap. You're just gonna go get another card that you don't
Dude,
have.
I was literally right
That's
out
hard.
front.
Get
I was
out.
just looking.
Bye.
You are so... cannot insult people like that.
Trashy ass boots out of here.
Oh, get your trashy ass boots out of here. Look, that woman does not play. But again, to be fair though, like I said before, I think some people have said it before. I've noticed myself, my tendency to do the old 5-finger discount has definitely increased way more than it did beforehand. Like, I'm much more willing to, like, you know, when I go to a self-checkout and then if I'm scanning stuff and my total shopping basket goes to like £22, I'd much rather whatever's 22, you know, that gets you. I mean, that kind of vibe, just to kind of round up the numbers. But in terms of leaving with like people are legitimately. I think someone mentioned it. I think maybe Coyle, someone mentioned it in the chat. I've seen people in my local Tesco's legitimately going to the beer section and just grabbing the crates, like not the crates, but the little, you know, little cardboard boxes with the bottled beers. Usually they're kind of done in a nice little design, especially the what's that sugary one? I don't know. You know what I mean, right? But they usually put them in a nice little box. I've seen people go in, put their hands in the flipping fridge, slide them out, put them in the bag, and just walk out. Like legit. And now the shoplifting thing in my area, especially in the Tesco's that I go to, because I go to we have like a Tesco Express, and it's really dodgy how they do it. It's really bad business, right? But the Tesco Express self-checkout is really ripe for flipping shoplifting, or just people just being cheeky overall. And I've seen it so many times because we've got a lot of homeless people in my area, and I live in a bit of a rough part of town, let's say. And here's what I tell you. Look, so this is what they do, right? So in my area, we've got Tesco like this, right? But the self-checkout doesn't look like this. It's a bit different. It's a new one. It doesn't got the scanner. They don't have it here on this thing to see. Let me see if we've got let's just see new machine. Have they got it here? I'll show you what I mean, because it's really, really bad, and they must lose a lot of money over time and whatnot. But it doesn't have it here, does it? No, it doesn't have it. Okay, cool. Anyway, so what I was going to describe it to you was this, right? The self-checkout in Tesco's is next to the beers where I live. Right next to all the beers are for some reason. But it's not like the conventional one that you're used to, which looks like this, right? Let me get up and copy them. The conventional one you're used to looks like this. Where you kind of scan it like that, right? And you kind of scan it there and blah, blah, blah. But the one they got now doesn't have that metal bit at the bottom. So there's no weighing. You just scan it. Like, you just scan the item. So people that are stealing a beer, some people will like still put them in a bag. Some people will go get the thing, go to the machine, and like, I don't know, scan something tiny like a chocolate bar, and then pay for it and then leave. So it looks like they paid for the beer, but they haven't. And because there's no bit where you kind of bag it to weigh the thing or anything, it just looks like you paid for it. So they're losing so much money, so much money. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, I've definitely seen an increase in myself trying to, doing the whole 5-finger discount just because I want to round up the numbers and whatnot. But I'm not doing it like I'm not going in there and stealing my whole weekly shopping. Because I know some people in my friendship group who are legitimately doing that. They just don't want to pay for anything. So they just go there and just with an empty tote bag and just go shopping like they're fucking playing, supermarket soup or some shit. But yeah, this lady's back again with another occasion. Again, I hope this is her store, but it doesn't look like it. But one thing that we do know about this lady, either she works out at the fucking supermarket that she works at, or after she finishes her shift, she goes to a CrossFit or something. I don't know, because she's always in workout gear. Look at her again. She's got those good Nikes on for working out. I think they're like an update on the Roshis. She's got actual running shorts, the nice short ones that kind of, that you can kind of, run up and down in. It's probably got a little pocket there to put your iPhone in, face mask. Hair looks curly at the end there because she usually puts it in her bum when she's ready to work out. This lady's on job. Like, she will fuck you up. And she's also very confrontational. Doesn't mind it at all.
Take everything out of your bag and...
Do you want some smoke? Oh my God, look how much stuff is coming out there. Wow.
Yeah,
pens.
Dump it out. It's empty.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm assuming this is like an art supply store to kind of resell. Because that's what I realized, because I'm really friendly with like the security guards in my store at my local Tesco's. By the way, life hack for everybody. Make sure you befriend security guards or even staff that work in stores. Because sometimes if I get there late and just about to close and he sees me, it's just me by myself, he'll let me in so I can quickly get some shopping before the stores close. I know it's a bit, it's not good to do that, but if you are friendly with those guys, it's kind of nice. And one time I got talking to my security guard at my Tesco's, and he told me that one of the most stolen items in the Tesco's, you know what it is? Heinz ketchup. Homeless people or people just want to shoplift, they'll go and steal boxes of Heinz ketchup from supermarkets and then try and resell them to flipping off licenses, or what you call bodegas over there in the States. People are reselling stolen Heinz ketchup. Heinz ketchup. So I'm not surprised. The reason why I mention that, because this art supply shop, I'm assuming they probably have really good pens, like the pens that I have, like, I don't know, really good brands of pens. So you could probably steal those pens and sell them to maybe independent stores, or just sell them individually online. You can probably make quite a good amount of money listing them on Vinted, putting them on eBay, putting them on Amazon, all that sort of shit. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. People saying in the chat as well, what ketchup? Ketchup is crazy. Yeah, mayonnaise and butter is pricey. Oh, and also, another thing to note, I need to take a picture of it. In my local Tesco's, you know what they put? You know what they put behind the till? Usually behind the till, they have like some items that you can't, grab on the shelves because they get stolen. You know what they put behind the till in my Tesco's? Like in the cupboard, you have to kind of open it and get locked out. Coffee. Like, coffee, like instant coffee in the little tubs. Yeah, they put those like the good one, of course, the ones that you make nice coffee with. They put that shit in the fucking cupboards. Crazy, right? Coffee. So Heinz gets stolen and coffee. So that kind of gives you an idea of where I live. That woman works out. That woman has done a couple of burpees. She's done a few deadlifts, right? She's done some fucking bear crawls. She's done some goblet squats, as I said, right? That lady's done a couple of good form bench presses. She's done a proper pull-up. No fucking CrossFit kipping, a proper pull-up, right? Proper sit-ups. Like, she's done proper shuttle runs. That's a lady. Like, she's ready to rock. Sometimes you just pick the wrong place to shoplift. That's the wrong place, man.
You know what else we can...
Yo, you can see her arse from here, can't you? Is that a leg? Like, lady, man, come on, brother. Like, what going for this? Who's wearing, like, sheer tights to the supermarket? Is this what you guys do over there in America? Ladies go out in tights where you can see legitimately their arse crack. Like, god damn it, man. Like, can't you feel the wind breezing past your bum as you're like bending over or something? Like, wear a longer hoodie or something. Like, come on.
Shoplifting.
Leave, man. Don't. This is more shameful. If you get caught stealing, just leave. Don't start arguing. Don't start doing all this, turning it into, trying to switch it into some moral crusade or trying to gaslight something. Exactly. Now she's the victim. Come on, man. Have some pride. Have some dignity. Like, just leave. Have some shame, actually. Have some shame.
Neither.
Oh, that was fucking exactly as Space Girl said. If you're gonna just teeth and leave. Exactly. She's trying to be the victim and switch it around like, no. Ma'am, you assaulted me. You assaulted me and you broke my back. You assaulted me. I loved it. There's nothing better than entitled women are the best, man. That entitlement, even when you caught stealing, someone caught you stealing and you're still entitled. Like, come on, man. Entitled women are probably on the same level as like those delusional guys online. You know, those kind of guys on the manosphere who think if they just make money, that they're gonna get any girl they want. And then they get the reality that like sometimes just because you got money doesn't mean everyone's gonna sleep with you. You know? They have this idea in their head that because they've got money, that every woman that's available in the world, especially like, Victoria's Secrets type of models and stuff, are gonna be just like laying down beside their feet. It's like, no, brother. If you don't have the minerals, you have the minerals. It doesn't matter how much money you have, but I think they're the same level. Entitled women, guys who think they have Ferraris, they can pick up anybody. They're on the same level of flipping delusion. Absolutely great. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So, moving on. Have you seen this quickly? This story is quite nice and wholesome. Remember this lady? Racist woman who berated Philadelphia pizzeria owner for playing Spanish on the TV, called him illegal immigrant, charged with hate crime. That's quite nice, isn't it? Right? That's quite nice. It's maybe a little bit on the like, infringing. I won't say it's kind of like a free speech issue, right? Like charging me with a hate crime because I call you a racial slur. Kind of a slippery slope, that one, isn't it? Words, isn't it? Right? People saying words to you. I'm more of a kind of guy like, unless you physically harm me, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like having people getting charged and being put in prison for saying words is a bit wild, in my personal opinion. Really and truly. But again, what do I know? It continues. A Philadelphia woman who was filmed going on a racist tirade against a pizzeria owner because she was annoyed of the Spanish language TV playing in an establishment has been charged with a hate crime. Rita Bellew, 55, was charged with misdemeanor, counts of ethnic intimidation, harassment, which Pennsylvania hate crime statute, and harassment Fridays after the video went viral, according to Halfborough Police Department. Am I the only person who, if I go to like a Chinese restaurant, especially a takeaway place, and they're playing like super loud Chinese TV or music, everyone in the back in the kitchen is screaming in Chinese, the fucking menu is hardly readable, it stinks like fuck, I know I'm gonna get good food. I actually want it to be like that. I actually don't want you to speak English. I actually want you to get your daughter to come out and try and translate my dumb gringo order for you. Same if I go to like a Spanish or a Mexican place. The more of you guys I see in there, the more of your music you're playing in there, the more people from your community that are in there eating there, I'm actually happy. I know I'm for sure gonna get good food. It's actually a good thing. What do I want them to play? Because he's Mexican and he's making pizza, she wants to hear what? Fucking like Italian music on the thing. Like, why does it matter? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit weird, personally, for me. Yeah, even Al Gore Ribble said, yeah, but it's a pizzeria. I know. There's a joke in it. I think Louis C.K.'s got that joke, right? Louis C.K.? Is it Louis C.K. got that joke? About if you go to like if you went to like an Italian restaurant and you pulled up and then you went inside and there was 3 black women serving, you know, behind the till. Like, and it said authentic Italian. Like, what would you, I mean, I think it's Louis C.K. Anyway, I want to see the video again. I want to remember the video. Okay, this is what it says. This is the logo for the place, right? Pizzeria, what does it say? It does say cheese steaks, Italian cuisine, and whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna say it flat out now. This doesn't look like an authentic pizzeria. This looks like a place where they make pizzas. They also do breakfast. They also do cheese steaks, and they do what's that thing? What it says here? What's that? We deliver cheese steaks, Italian cuisines, and what's that? What's Hogels? I don't know. What's a Hogel? What's a hoagies? What the fuck is a hoagie? Italian cuisine, fresh made dinner, and cheesesteaks. Personally, for me, I would never, ever be going somewhere like this thinking I'm going to get an Italian fucking meal. It's not going to be an Italian authentic meal. So I don't care what's playing on the fucking TV station or whatever it may be. Let's see how the woman actually reacted on when she actually went there. Let's see.
Years. My grandmother. And my grandmother before that. So you can actually say it's 200 years. You want to tell me Spanish on your TV? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that is you're not American, dude. I will look you the fuck up and get you the fuck out of our town. Okay? Fuck you. Give me my money back.
How can you be this angry in this place? Anyway, I want to see let me see what a hogel. What is a hogel? What the fuck is a hogel? Is it food, right? Hogel food? Is that how you spell it? How you spell it? How you spell it? Is it what's that? Hoagies. Sorry, hoagies. What the fuck is a hoagies? Oh, it's a sub sandwich. Why do they call it a hoagie? A submarine sandwich, commonly known as a sub, a hoagie. Okay, okay. Hoagie is another word for a sub. Okay, my bad. So sub, hoagie, hero, Italian, grinder. There's people calling a sub a grinder. God almighty. Wedge or spooky is a type of American cold or food sandwich made from okay, cool. Cylindrical bread. I love how they're describing it. Ah, hoagie. What type of, okay, why is it called a hoagie? There we go. The name likely comes from the Philadelphia area where during World War I, Italian migrants who worked at the Hog Island shipyard began making sandwiches. They were originally called hoagies. Okay, cool. Cool. It always like that, isn't it? It always starts like that. Working class people earning a living, they make fucking sandwiches and then suddenly everyone flipping takes them in it. But yeah, okay, cool. Good to know. So that lady's been charged with a hate crime. Good. Fuck her anyway. Who gives a fuck? Let's move on from that one. And let's play this. What was I going to say here? Yeah, let's do this one. Let's do this one. So, quickly note. Want to hear what's that? Let me see what people are saying in the chat here before I continue. Sorry, I haven't been interacting with the chat too much, and I've been waffling bears out here. So let me see what the chat is saying here. What you guys saying? The red pepper grand folks. Bill Cosby used to call them hoagies. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but thank you. Okay, cool. Anyway, let's continue. So, my guys. I didn't know this, right? This is just like an observation again to the person involved. This is no disrespect at all. This is just a pleasant surprise and also quite nice to see, in my opinion, right? Pleasant surprise and quite nice to see. So I was randomly perusing other comedy podcasts because, you know, the random show is not just focused on the Fighter and the Kid and Brendan Schaub and those guys. The random show talks about everybody because I'm interested in all those people. Even if I don't watch everything, I'm interested in how they maneuver, what they talk about, because essentially this stuff is like my version of the Kardashians. I don't really watch reality TV. I haven't ever really watched it. I never watched Big Brother a long time ago, but for the most part, I kind of avoid it. And this is my kind of fix for that sort of stuff. You know how like people watch Bar Rescue or they watch Cops or they watch I don't know, whatever else, right? To kind of feel that kind of reality TV show bug where you can kind of turn off your brain and sort of like sit there and judge other people and point and laugh. That's what the GRE Extended Universe people do for me, and that's what the Bappaverse people do for me also. So one person within that little field, his name goes by Chrissy D, right? I for the longest time never knew what his baby mother or wife or girl, whatever the title is at the moment, I never knew what she looked like. I know he spoke about it all the time, and he did mention that she was a dime piece, and he did speak about, like, you know, how she was kind of volatile and they had this really fractious relationship, but I never knew what she looked like. I never ever knew, and I never really bothered to even try and double check or anything, and I think he probably purposely kept her out the limelight anyway. But they did a podcast recently and they sat down and spoke to each other, and damn, she is a dimey piece. And it's also really refreshing to see a couple in comedy who clearly look like they like each other. You remember I mentioned really a lot of times here why I like listening to Bill Burr, because sometimes Bill Burr have his wife on there, and Bill Burr's wife is really funny, and they have really good chemistry, and she really rips him and knows how to press his buttons and shit, and it's flipping hilarious because Bill Burr's usually really sharp. And it's a nice refresh from hearing guys like Brendan, Brian Callen, even sometimes Joe Rogan and stuff, talk about their wives and their significant others like they're burdens. Like they legitimately do anything. Most of those guys love going on tour, you know, and just staying on the road all the time because they don't want to be at home. But you get a feeling from this clip on this podcast that Chrissy D and his woman, they legitimately like each other. Like they're actually friends. Yes, they, you know, have a child together and a relationship and whatnot, but they actually are two human beings that actually like each other. And it's not just like, you know, how comedians are, where they basically use the partner as like a flipping adult babysitter, essentially. They just pop out kids and they look after the kids and they hold the house down, but there's no real love there. And they speak about them with so much disrespect. But legitimately, Chrissy D's wife is a smoke show. God almighty.
Everybody, I got a brand new hour of stand-up material, chrisdcomedy.com for tickets, January 12th, New Orleans. That show's got a little bit of tickets left at the Civic Theater. January 13th in Dallas, sold out. January 14th in Houston, nearly sold out. January 26th to the 28th, Phoenix, Arizona, stand-up live. February 20th.
I think she's from Puerto Rico.
2nd, Vancouver, March 28th to the 29th, West Palm Beach, and March 31st, Miami Beach, Florida, the Fontainebleau, and April 12th, Austin, Texas. And the best part about these shows, I'm going to be all alone. Yeah. Ooh, hey, Dad. What's up, everybody?
And let's also give Chrissy D some credit too. Let's give Chrissy D credit. Chrissy D is from New York, and he bagged himself a Latina. If you know anything about New York, you know the guys that look like me, the black guys in New York. I don't know why Latinas are so popular there. Maybe because they got a really good selection of them, and they, you know, whatever else it may be, and the intermixing and whatnot, whatever. But for sure, the competition out there to bag these Latinas is really strong. So the fact that Chrissy D as a white dude was able to bag this lady, his game is like, his game must be crazy. His game is insane. His game must be insane. So props to Chrissy D for having his fantastic game and holding it down and fucking pushing away all the black guys that try to, you know, holler at his woman. Do you know what I mean? He's there pushing them away. You know what I mean? Like pushing them away, hooking them and shit. You know what I mean? Hooking them, like, big up Chrissy D.
Welcome to the first Chrissy Chaos of 2023.
Yeah. Uche is right, to be fair. To give Chrissy D credit too, Uche is a good looking, Uche. Crystalia. Oh my God, no, not Crystalia. He touches kids. No, Chrissy D is a good looking guy. As guys go, he is definitely good looking. And he doesn't look weird. He doesn't have like a saggy eye. He's lost a lot of weight. I think he's doing keto or he's working out. So I think he's lost a lot of weight. He's looking skinny and shit. But he does, all he does is get a little bit get a little bit chubby when he's happy and he's making money and shit. But he doesn't look strange. He doesn't seem to have like crazy drug addiction. He just seems to be normal. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he's definitely one of the more handsome ones out there.
Hope everyone's New Year was great. Hope everyone had a holiday season. Hope your Kwanzaa was great. Hope your Christmas is great. Hope your Hanukkah was great. Hope whatever Indian people celebrate was great. I love it. And it's just, I'm here. You could tell, Chrissy turtlenecks, all in black, because I feel so good. It's a new year. It's a new me. What I am mourning right now in black is mourning the old Chris, because this is a new 2023 single Chris.
Is that my cue?
She's a dimey. Come on, man. She's a dimey. Well done, Krista. Well done, Krista. Chrissy D. Krista, I can say, well done. Congratulations. And isn't it nice also to see a podcast where a comedian is talking to a significant other and look at the smile on her face? That's a smile of love. They actually like each other as human beings, not some fakeness. They're not coming on, oh my God, I don't like it. The only person who I think is kind of comparable is maybe like a Bert Kreischer and stuff, right, with Bert. But they legitimately love each other. That's a smile of love. That's a smile of appreciation. Like, thank you, papi. Do you know what I mean? Your silly comedy and your haha, it pays for my body, it pays for my hair. I can get makeup. I can live in this nice house. Like, our kid goes to a nice school. Thank you, papi. You know what I mean? That's appreciation smile, you know? No stress. Look at that skin. Flawless. Because papi goes out on the road and does triple runs and shit and goes and plays at fucking casinos and, you know, restaurants where people are eating chicken fingers, you know, and drinking beer and stuff while he's performing. But it's good because your other half gets to live a good life. That's a dream.
Is that my cue?
Excuse me?
I thought you were mourning my tits.
Oh, I didn't see. Yes, I didn't see you there. We thought it'd be funny for the first guest of 2023 to start up at an old favorite, Titi Jerry.
I can't stand you.
No, it's Michael Jackson.
Do I look like Michael Jackson? I hate that you said that. Somebody.
Nah, that's fucking rude. But honestly, look at that. Look at the joy. Look at the love and affection that you've seen radiating from these two in only under 2 minutes. This is what I mean, man. Honestly, I feel really bad for stand-up comedians' other halves. Not Crystalia's one, because she's obviously, you know, probably giving him condoms as he's entering the room full of flipping alleged underage girls. Allegedly, I don't really know. But I feel sorry for the other halves of comedians because, number one, they're never there. Number two, they're all like in a state of arrested development. They're all like, you know, 35 plus years olds, but inside they feel like they're 19 or 21. And number three, they want to be anywhere else but home. They legitimately do. A lot of them talk about, oh, I don't do Sundays because I want to stay in my family. Lies. You don't do Sundays because you're scared of the blowback online. People might shame you out of it, but they love to be on the road and not be at home. So it's nice to see a couple for once in comedy who clearly like each other as people, as human beings. That's cool. I like it. Yay for love.
Oh my God, I do, right? Somebody said that once to me. Or are you saying that because somebody said that and I told you that?
Yeah.
Guys.
Welcome to Chrissy Chaos.
Like Michael Jackson.
This, of course, we have Jasmine Cañuelas. Cañuelas. You know her as fucking Jaja Jazzy Spin Tits on social media.
Jesus Christ.
Jasmine, I wanted you to be the first. I wanted you to be the first guest of a new pod of the new year. How
and
was
your future home.
Yes. How was your? Yes, I think that we can make this work in here.
No, I like this for you because you're obsessed with this area, and I think that you should live here. And I like this for you. I like this.
Yeah.
This feels like Chris.
Yeah, I was on the phone with a real estate agent.
I didn't I
was on the phone with a real. Zoom in on them, pimp.
No, my God. Do you have gloves?
I was on a phone with a real estate agent, looking at talking to him about what possibly 3-bedroom apartments in downtown Manhattan look like, and Jasmine got pissed.
I was cooking, so I had a pan in my hand. And I was ready to
She
throw
was
it at
so
his
mad.
head.
I want to move us and our family into Manhattan, Jazz.
You can move.
Okay, let me just explain this to you. Where we're living right now in the suburbs of northern New Jersey, I love it.
What do you do with your extra hand?
Excuse me? What?
This is good, isn't it? Anyway, I'm not going to watch the whole thing, but check it out if you haven't already. It's a really good episode. They got a lot of chemistry. You can understand why they've been off and on for a while, because as much as they love each other, they clearly drive each other crazy. They know how to press each other's buttons like any great couple should be able to do. And it's a very good and refreshing union. And also, it's not a standard. It's not like they're gonna do it all the time. I think this is the first. I think it's in my opinion, this is my experience. It's the first time I've seen it in my life. I don't think it's going to be a continuing thing. It's just maybe like a quick little throwaway thing. So definitely check it out. And someone else mentioned in the chat as well. Someone mentioned that who was it? Someone mentioned Chrissy D on Bad Friends, right? So I'm gonna check that out because I think he was on there recently. Because I know he was on Joe Rogan, so I'm gonna check him out on Bad Friends. Let's see. I'm gonna note it down actually. Chrissy D on Bad Friends. I'll note that down. I'll probably have that ready for next time and see if I can get any clips from it. But yeah, big up Chrissy D. Big up Jasmine. Yay to love. Next on the list, let's move on for this one. Have you seen this? This is wild, right? So this has happened recently, and I'll quickly move on to bring this up in a minute, but this is insane. Drake has some weird energy around him when it comes to, like, you know, young girls. And for whatever reason, this lady who's a producer decided to get on No Jumper and, you know, maybe not choose her words correctly and say the following about Drake and how she met him. Because I guess she's a producer, she's made some songs for him, and she works with other people in general. But just her kind of experience with working with Drake and stuff. Just hear what she says. This sounds so suspect.
Okay, so the Drake thing. You met him, well, when did you first meet him?
So I played basketball, right? So he really was a fan of not a fan, supported one of my teammates at the time. And
this is when you're in high school?
Yeah, in high school. So he was a fan of women's basketball, high school basketball. I was her teammate, so he followed me because of her. And I was like, oh shit, bitch, you got Drake to follow me? Like, what the hell? Like, that's so crazy.
Oh my God.
He followed me, and I lost it. I'm like, I have to meet Drake. Like, I love Drake. I've always loved Drake, still love Drake. So,
yo, Drake is a fan of high school women's basketball. Excuse me? Again, I'm not like, how old are girls who play high school basketball? Like, excuse me? What is this? How tall? Age? What? How? Age. Let's see. It's right here. It's right here. It's right. Age. Cause I don't know what this is. What's the age of it? Is that 15? Excuse me? I'm seeing 11-year-old here. No way is it 11. No way. No, let's put high school basketball age. Oh my God, please don't say this. Okay, we're going to the basketball USA website, youth guidelines, rules and stipulations. No way. Drake is a fan of this type of basketball. These are literal children. No. Okay, rules. Okay, let's see age. Let's just search age. To help foster the player health and age and stage. Yeah, what's the age? Yeah, show me the age. Where is it? Oh my! What's ages 7 grades 10? No, what? Grades 9 to 12. Fuck. 15, 16, 17. Yo. Holy shit. Oh, Drake, what you doing? I love you, Drake. But what the fuck are you doing, brother? Oh my God. Yeah, here it is. It's here. Highlighted games per thing. Look at the ages. That's the ages there. Oh my God. Shit. 17 is fine in certain set. I get it, but no older than 18. So basically, I'm about to say they're all under set 18, basically. And this girl on that No Jumper thing, she looks kind of young herself. She's got a very fresh face in general. Oh my days. Anyway, so Drake clearly has a thing for like that, and he decided to holler at that girl. And the funny thing about that clip, right, was that we all heard what she said, didn't it, right? We all heard what she said about Drake. We all heard what she said about how they got in contact and how they got in touch. But one thing that I've started to really hate about people online is that people online are way too, like, especially people that, you know, talk in these interviews, they're way too loose and they just talk about anything and just reveal too many details. And then they get annoyed when certain blogs or platforms maybe grab what they said on live and maybe push certain bits out there and say, oh, they said this, and kind of, you know, get some clickbait in it. But usually the clickbait has some truth in it. So we heard what she said about Drake. She said, hey, Drake was a friend of my other friend who played high school basketball. And then I got her to basically get him to follow me as well because I love him. But basically what she's saying is that I met Drake on Instagram when I was in high school. She said that clearly. But then she comes on flipping her Instagram account and says, no, I didn't say that. Actually, you guys are spinning my words. It's like, no, lady, you said what you said. Like, just stand on it. I hate people do this. And they kind of like weirdly gaslight us, the viewer, who didn't ask you the questions. You know, you just willingly offered that information up. and this is it. So here's her trying to clear it up because I think she got a couple of phone calls from Drake like, hey, you're making me look crazy out here.
With Drake, that's one. Two, y'all did not understand what I was trying to say at all. He's known my friend since she was at USC. I've known her since high school basketball, and that might be a part I didn't fully get into detail because it just was not on my mind. I didn't think people would be twisting what I had to say like this. He didn't speak to anyone while they was in high school, okay? I said I messaged him after high school. That was our first time ever speaking, and it was for him to get on one of my beats. And then years later, he did get on one of my beats because he's a real ass fucking nigga. Like, y'all twisting this shit around and making it sound weird
We
are
are
the ones that are really fucking weird.
Excuse me? We're the ones that are twisting it. What? We didn't say nothing. You said what you said. Let's go back to the fucking clip. I'm sorry. This is really getting on my nerves here. How are you saying we twisted it? Let's go back to the clip. And let's see what Adam 22, because again, he's a bit of a cunt, but he did ask a pretty simple question. This is Adam's question.
Mm-hmm.
You met him, well, when did you first meet him?
So.
Him by Drake.
So. I played basketball, right?
She played basketball.
He really was a fan of supported one of my teammates.
He supported one of her teammates who played basketball. So she plays basketball too. Cool.
At the time. And
this is when you're in high school?
Yeah, in high school.
Confidently, look, she says, yeah. She's like, yeah, high school. Right? Let's continue.
So he was a fan of women's basketball, high school basketball.
He said it twice.
I was her teammate, so he followed me because of her. And I was like, oh,
okay, so you saw Drake following your teammate, or you getting gas in the change room. Oh my God, yeah. Yes, bitch, yes. And then you're like, oh my God, I hope you can follow me. You started double tapping his shit, crazy, going on these stories, and Drake being Drake, because he's probably on his phone all the time. He's looking, because I never do that. I'm never fucking checking through my likes. I'm never checking through who visits my story. I mean, I'm not a loser. I don't care. No, I'm not a loser, but I just don't care. But I'm sure he does it. So he's probably looking, thinking, "Raw, who's that? Who's that little pink bubblegum haired one?" You know what I mean? And then he presses it and he presses follow.
Shit, bitch, you got Drake to follow me? Like, what the hell? Like, that's so crazy.
Oh my God.
He followed me, and I lost it. I'm like, I have to meet Drake. Like,
There we have it. I have to meet Drake. And now we're twisting her words. Absolutely diabolical, these people. Absolutely diabolical. Don't offer up information willingly. Then when people grab it and look at it as weird, you start to get questioned about it. But anyway, let's move on from that one. What I want to say about that issue is that it's interesting, right? Because I was actually wondering once, when I was watching the Crystalia documentaries, and I was just, talking about all the, nasty stuff that he gets up to and whatnot on the stream. One thing that I was thinking to myself was that a lot of what because I remember early on when the allegation about Crystalia came out, I think there are videos you can find of me where I'm kind of defending Crystalia because I didn't have much of the information, the first couple of allegations, because it seemed like in those first couple of allegations that the girls were basically accusing Chris of being like a bad date. Because I think one specific girl said that she came to visit Chris at a comedy club, knowing full well that most likely they're going to do something sexual or whatnot. And she was down for it. But what she didn't like was that when she went to meet him, he wasn't as nice as he was on text. On text, he was funny. He was making jokes. She knows of him from the podcast and stuff. But when she met him at the club, he was super cold. And he just dragged her to a room and just tried to start doing stuff straight away. Without even chatting, having a drink, nothing. He just went straight to fucking third base. And she felt a little bit used, a little bit grossed out. And I remember looking at the thing thinking, yeah, that's probably his greatest crime. Like just being an absolute douchebag and treating these girls like pieces of meat, basically. And not really trying to make them, have a good time with them. Then I thought to myself, you know what? The weird thing about this is that if you do go out of your way to treat certain girls or women with respect and let them have a good time, you could get away with a lot of sussy shit, really, if you think about it. Like, a lot of sussy can be excused. And if you're a celebrity like Drake of that level, and you maybe like a girl who's like, on the cusp of legal or not, but then you treat them really nice, you're just like a kind of quasi big bro, which essentially is just a tag, it's a kind of a temporary placeholder you put on yourself before you can slide in, usually, right? The guys that kind of do that, I'm big bro, I'm big bro, I'm big bro. So you kind of have that label. But then if you treat them nice, you've also got the ability to kind of, continue that going forward. So it's a little bit of a sketchy one because it looks like both parties are consenting, even though they might be underage or they might be on the cusp. Because both parties are consenting, one party's like adoring this guy because he's Drake and he's a big star. He also treats them amazing, because that's one thing you read a lot about Drake online and stuff, for these kind of gossip forums or whatnot, or blogs. A lot of girls say that he's actually a gentleman, like he's actually a nice guy. Like he'll wine and dine you, he'll get you a car, you know what I mean? Like he's legitimately like pay for your flats and stuff. He doesn't cut corners when it comes to trying to get, trying to add some girls to his fucking tally and shit. So if that's the case, it's hard to then get annoyed at it. You know what I mean? Because they're kind of willing participants. But again, for his image, it's a bit sussy. It's a bit sussy for his image. Because, do you remember what happened? Do you remember those rumors? Not rumors. Do you remember that story about him talking to that girl from Stranger Things? Millie Bobby Brown. Because I think I'm pretty sure she's only turned 17, 18 recently or something. But he was like allegedly texting her and being kind of big bro when she was like 15 or something, or maybe even younger. And she doesn't have the advantage of looking like this girl, right? Who she's athletic. She looks like much older than her age. That Millie Bobby Brown girl looks 15, probably even now. Do you know what I mean? If you catch her with no makeup at Walmart, she's like an absolute child. So Drake messaging her then is a bit weird. I don't know. I don't know. I've never, personally for me, again, maybe I'm just a unique one, or I'm just lying to myself, but I've never really been into younger girls like that. Like, guys that like legitimately like want to date girls that are like under 23 and stuff. It's just never been a vibe for me. I don't really, it's not like, oh my God, yeah, she's young. Wow. But certain guys just love that. They want to, so it wouldn't be surprised me if someone like a Drake, having gone through every single chick in the industry, is like looking at the athletic ones coming out of basketball and stuff, especially the ones nowadays who are super cute and don't look as maybe masculine as ones did in the past and stuff. And he's just like, you know what? Before they get into the industry and they get ran through by other rappers, I'm going to get them. It's bad to say this, but I'm going to get them just before they're kind of, being seen by others, and jump on it straight away. So it wouldn't surprise me if you go to Drake's follow list. And again, I'm not that kind of guy. I don't care that much. But it wouldn't surprise me if you go to Drake's follow list, or maybe he has a Finsta. If you go to his follow list, I bet you'll see some random, girl that plays in high school basketball in some random state that he follows. And she's like 17, 18. And he's got in there super early. Do you know what I mean? And he's double tapping their pictures and shit, and they talk and stuff on stories. I bet you that's happening. I bet you. So if somebody wants to investigate that, they could, but I like Drake too much. He's one of my favorite artists out. So I'm not going to do him like that. So I'm just going to pretend like I didn't see that story. Anyway, moving on. Let's go to the first thing. So let's see. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go to the first thing. Where is it? Oh, where is it? Bear with me 1 second. There we go. Is that the one? Yes. Cool. Let's do this one. So, first things first. I wanted to say. What did I say? What did I say? Oh, yes, I'll say this. So, first things first. I want to give a big shout out to Bert Kreischer, because the new studio for his podcast, or the new podcast studio that he has, I guess in his new home, looks absolutely fantastic. Maybe one of the better ones I've seen so far from these guys within the GRE extended universe. It doesn't try to look like Joe Rogan's one, which I guess a lot of people try to copy that sort of like layout and whatnot. It's kind of got its own unique design, but it's also very much in line with what Bert Kreischer's about as a person. It's a little clip where it kind of features a little bit of it, and we'll watch another clip as well from his podcast with Legion of Skanks guys that's got a bit more of an angle so you can see what it looks like in full.
Got back from Europe, and they have been hardcore working on this studio and this house. I've yet to see any of it. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is cool.
Look how big that is, man. That looks banging.
Nice. Okay, so
I love the layout of it. I love that they got this round table. They got a main table in the back there, the wooden paneling and shit. The bears everywhere.
Hang on, you guys are officially the first guest.
Nice. Wow, this is great. I feel like we could have gotten someone better.
But we got blunts.
Look at that. That's really nice, no? The ashtray's nice. The little table with the The fake wood tree thing is pretty cool.
Right here, guys. Hitler's teacup right there. This looks fucking phenomenal. You guys killed it. You guys fucking killed it. I'm gonna christen it. Hey, way to go, ladies. And post it.
Looks amazing, doesn't it? Don't you think so? I think it looks really cool. I like that studio.
Way to go, ladies. Way to go.
So yeah, big up Bert Kreischer for that new studio. I think it looks absolutely amazing. And then I went to quickly mention this. So this is more. Oh, sorry, this is more evidence and more kind of clips of showing what the studio looks like. I'm going to play a little bit of Bert Kreischer's podcast here with Legion of Skanks, and you can see this.
You didn't hear me say this. If you see the trailer for The Machine tomorrow, officials opening week, but I'm just so you have this chest.
Look at that. It looks lovely, isn't it? Don't you think so? The angle as well, sitting down. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Tiger Belly podcast. Well, obviously when Kalila Sterling with the two sides. I quite like that. I think that actually works better, like having people face each other like this instead of sitting side to side or something. I quite like this kind of layout. And it kind of looks cozy. It looks like someone's room. But it's not. It's like a podcast studio, which is cool as well. I like that kind of vibe. You know, you can put some trainers here again to mix it up a bit. But it looks very homely. I like this kind of look of it, personally for me. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about, I want to talk about this, right? This legitimately was a joke that legit made me want to spit out my coffee earlier on. And this is Big J's joke in the first 6 minutes or so of the fucking podcast. The setup for it is pretty decent, so I'll play it a little bit here. But Big J's joke is really funny because I remember there was a time when the Legion of Skanks subreddit was still around, maybe the kind of second incarnation of it, and a few people on there, like fucking the idiots they are, they kind of were able to find Big J Okerson's daughter's Instagram account or something. I think she's a teenager, but she might be 18 or something, or whatever it may be. And they found an Instagram account and they kind of were posting on the subreddit, and there was a common theme of people making comments about what Big J's Okerson's daughter looks like and the kind of guys that she's probably likely to attract. And it was legitimately making me laugh so hard. So to hear this callback, he obviously saw the post himself and mentioned the joke. I thought it was hilarious. So this is the entire setup of it, but listen to Big J Okerson, an amazing joke. It's hilarious because that was a running theme of when someone posted a picture of Big J Okerson's daughter on the subreddit, because she is a very curvy Latina looking lady. I'm assuming the mum is definitely, I'm assuming from some country within Central America or South America, maybe. And obviously she looks a certain way, and everyone on the subreddit was saying the same thing, like black guys in New York must go absolutely crazy for her. But yeah, it was hilarious to see that. And obviously again, she speaks like a hood chick, which is hilarious. I feel there's a clip of her speaking, which is quite cool to see. But yeah, big up Big J Okerson for the amazing laughs there. And then I want to talk about this, because a few people have been getting annoyed by this, but I gotta put my little 2 pence on it, right? Let me see if where I can put it here. So let's set it up on here, right? It's around here. So a lot of people were getting upset and annoyed about Bert Kreischer's laugh, and I see Two Ladies to Try has made a video about it. People on the subreddits have been going crazy about it and commenting on it, and I have to say for myself, I don't necessarily find it an issue. I really don't find it a problem, the way Bert laughs, and I don't think it's forced or put on. He might exaggerate it and play up to it a little bit, but I don't think it's that crazy to imagine that there's somebody in the world who laughs like he does, where like he's heaving and he's whistling and he's screeching and his head is turning all different colors and flavors and shit. It's not surprising to me. People have weird laughs. Like people laugh like, You got fucking a DSP, You know what I mean? People have dodgy laughs, so it's not surprising to me that Bert would have a dodgy laugh. Like, he looks like somebody that would laugh weirdly. Doesn't look like somebody that would laugh like quote unquote normally. Do you know what I mean? Like, just look at him. Look at the state of him. So his laugh kind of matches his personality. So I'm not that offended by it personally, but I'll let you check it out so you can make your own decision. I continue. I think part of the problem people also don't like Bert, you know when he always says, because it's a common line he says all the time, the hardest I've ever laughed. Oh my God, we laughed so hard. His life is essentially just one big like adult frat party. He just gets to drink beer, take off his top and do jokes on stage, right? And podcasts. And people seem to think like, you know, it's just an easy job. Even though I think he takes stand-up quite seriously. But I think people don't like him because of that persona and because he's an adult and because like the way he looks. So he looks like every other regular guy out there. Every other regular guy that looks like Bert is busting their ass somewhere, working a job they don't like, construction site, workplace, whatever. So when they hear this adult essentially, you know, talking about enjoying themselves every single day, I can get how it kind of winds them up. That little line of like, we got to laugh so hard. Oh my God, laughing so hard, laughing so hard. Like his whole life is just like drinking and laughing and wheezing. So that maybe is part of the reason why people just don't like the laugh also, because the laugh is like triggering, because it means like, oh, he's just enjoying himself. His life is just no stress whatsoever. Must be nice. Must be nice. I had to put you through that because I had to go through it myself. Personally, I don't see an issue with the laugh because I think he's clearly playing up to it a little bit, but it's also legitimately how he laughs. The only thing that I have an issue with, and you can see he's playing up to it, is that I've heard people laugh like that and that squeal when you're kind of at the first round of laughs and you're kind of high pitched. But if you see him, he notices when he's going down a level and he continues going up again. That's when you kind of be, okay, it's a bit sus. Because when you're laughing, usually it's like, okay, it's like the guy in your crew or the girl that you know who over-exaggerates a laugh to kind of, you know, make someone feel bad. You know, maybe the first couple of laughs are fine because it's coming from a real place, like you don't like that person. But then when you keep carrying on, you're clearly doing it just to kind of get a reaction out of the person. It's not coming from a real place, you can tell. So that's the only issue I have with it. But I still think it's somewhat genuine. So if I say as a grade or percentage of genuine laugh, I say it's 80% genuine and 20% he's cognizant of when it goes down so that he can kind of go back up to start squealing and what more. But the only thing that's the issue with this is that everything Bert Kreischer laughs at now, right, in this kind of style, especially this sort of video, for me, has been tainted now. That video isn't to me, not funny enough to elicit that kind of reaction, unless it's like a one-off thing where like you see it with your friends for the first time, or you happen to see it in real life when it's happening. But now that you've seen him laugh the way he's been laughing about this innocuous thing that, to me, kind of looks a little bit on purpose. It looks like the kid or the guy that's the comedian maybe did it on purpose. I don't know. It just looks a bit set up and a little bit YouTube skittish, like this is a prank kind of thing. So I'm not really that amazed and laughing by it. But Bert's laugh has definitely ruined this clip. It's ruined it. Like, it's not funny anymore. Like, it's over now. Now when I see that clip, I'm going to force myself not to laugh because the first thing I think about is this guy wheezing like a pig. Do you know what I mean? It's just not something that I find interesting in the slightest. But I don't agree with everyone else saying that he's fake laughing and playing up for the cameras. I don't think so. I just think that's how he laughs. I just think he's also the kind of person that always wants to be the center of attention, so that when his laughs are kind of down-regulating and kind of, you know, going on the flipping downward slope, he fucking ramps that bad boy up and makes it, delivers it again so people can hear him again. That's my theory. But what do you guys think? Uche saying Bert is a walking bit. Now I feel like Bert's laugh is like a normal human around his family. I'm not buying it. I feel like Bert's laugh. Okay, cool. Richard Rice is saying, thank God we didn't stream the Chris Rock on Netflix. It was a snooze fest. Oh yeah, I've got to talk about that later off my Patreon. Rewind it and pause it at the primary sound. At the the first one. The first one he does it. Okay, cool. Let's see. Let's see the first time. The first time he does it. I can see why it's annoying. I can see why it's annoying now. Fair enough. Big up server Severa Design. Now I know why you. Now I get it. I think I get it now. I think I get why people find it annoying. Hearing that on repeat was driving me crazy. I think I understand. Holy shit. That is so obnoxious, isn't it? That is so fucking performative and obnoxious. Okay, now I'm kind of on your side, chat. I apologize. I'm kind of on your side. I apologize for that. Holy shit. That is so obnoxious. And the clip isn't even that funny. Again, maybe I'm bugging out here. The clip isn't that funny, is it? It's whatever. The kid fell off the stage. In my opinion, I think he didn't fall off by accident. I think it was a plan. It was probably part of the whole bit. But yeah. Oh, that was hilarious, man. Thank you for the chat for informing me on that one. I do appreciate that one. Anyway, let me quickly get a tissue paper. But yeah, okay. I guess you guys are right. My bad. My apologies. I should have listened to you guys when you told me the laugh was super annoying in the first place. And even looking at that face, look at that. Look at that face. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that face. The laugh made me forget the clip. It's like it, Mr. Singh, Mr. West. The laugh made me forget the clip. Exactly. The laugh has ruined the clip now. Maybe people forget the clip. Like people are thinking, hold on, what is so funny that'll make him laugh like that? But again, I think to be fair, not to be fair, the truth is, ever since that clip of Bert Kreischer talking about, let me see if I can get actually. Let me put, ever since this clip, right? I feel like Bert's been chasing a viral moment ever since this one. What was it called again? What was it called again? Was it a drink? What's that clip where he's talking about a drink? What was it? It's the one that went viral. What was it? It's some sugar drink. Oh, that's it. Kool-Aid. That's the one. I feel like ever since this, remember this happened. Ever since this happened, the Kool-Aid thing, I think Bert's been chasing another moment, like another viral thing to make him pop again. So he does these outlandish things, like you'll say crazy stuff on the podcast, or you say that, or you make a crazy confession because of how well this flipping clip did for him on social media. This random clip on the Two Bears One Cave, or this random section anyway. Let me fast forward it because I'm trying this info.
The Kool-Aid. You drinking Kool-Aid to start your day? Really?
It's so good.
What kind?
Red. Kool-Aid is fucking awesome. It really is awesome. It's so good.
Like an actual genuine moment they had, it kind of became a viral bit. Look how much weight Tom has lost, man. Fuck, he's like a half a human. Well done to Tom Segura. But yeah, the actual genuine, and actually, funny enough, Tom Segura's got skinnier and Bert's got fatter. But a genuine moment that became a genuine flipping viral moment. Now he's trying to chase it. That's why he's doing these crazy laughs and shit and nonsense.
Good. Pour a little something for yourself. It's watered down. It's not too bad.
You really drinking
ice
Kool-Aid?
cold. It's ice cold. Yeah.
You are drinking Kool-Aid.
Yeah. It's awesome.
You're drinking a fucking 64 ounce.
You see? You notice anything here? A genuine moment laugh, and there's none of that fucking crazy heezing. A genuine actual moment between two friends. Find something funny in the moment. Where's the heezing? Where's the whistling? Where's the pig sounds? Doesn't exist. But yeah, look at that laugh. It's not even the same laugh. Even where his face is, not even the same thing. So maybe I'd see where people are coming from now. This laugh might be completely manufactured. It might be something that he's created in a figment of his brain, which is pretty crazy to think that, isn't it, right? He's got these different laughs he does. The viral laugh, the real laugh, the podcast laugh. Like, nah, I'm not playing that again. No way, Severa Design. No way. No fucking way. No thank you. So maybe this is the fact that he actually has different laughs. So maybe I get the whole point. But hey, let's move away from that one. Enough Bert Kreischer for one day. But yeah, but everyone's getting on Bert's ass for doing that. Next, we're going to talk about quickly here. Let's watch this actually. Have you guys seen Bert Kreischer's last Bert Kreischer stuff? Have you seen the trailer for the movie? I haven't seen it, so I want to watch it with you guys together. Hopefully you haven't seen it also. Let's play it. Will this make me get taken down if you play trailers on flipping streams? What do you guys think? Will I get taken? I don't mind if they demonetize me. It doesn't fucking matter. I've only got a small channel. But will they take the video down? That's what I want. I don't want them to take the video down. What do you think? Can I watch this? You reckon I can watch this trailer live on the stream, or do you think they'll take me down? What do you guys think? No, okay. People say no more Bert. Okay. Should I watch a trailer for Bert's movie or nah? Let's see. No, if you play on YouTube. I don't know. The trailer's pretty good. People are saying, okay, 50-50 so far. Let's see the more comments coming through. Move on, Baba. Yo, Bert is really Marmite, isn't it? Bert is really Marmite. Maybe Bert tomorrow. Not everyday Bert. 9. No blood clot. Blood clot. Space Kite 9. Benjamin, please. Okay, cool. Raw boy. People really dislike Bert Kreischer. That's the thing about Bert though. Don't you realize that? Bert's really disliked by a lot of people in comedy, fans and stuff. But he's really popular. Like the Your Mum's House podcast and stuff, and they get crazy amounts of views. Like still hundreds of thousands to this day. Like Bobby Lee stuff. Right? Maybe only Brendan's ones are kind of struggling, but the views are crazy. He sells out places all the time. The merch goes dumb. You see videos of him on shows, taking off his t-shirt, Bert on stage, and the crowd is literally screaming like he's Michael Jackson. Like they love that guy. So I think he's got the perfect fan base. He's got fans that don't like him, like the guys that view in the chat, and he's also got guys that fucking ride for him super hard. Do you know what I mean? That bring their families to watch him at the show. Do you know what I mean? That get signed t-shirts, that go drink with him after the show. Like he's got that kind of fan base. So anyway, whatever. No, people don't really hate Bert. I'd say Michael Klein. I get a feeling people people find him annoying. I don't think they hate him. I think they find him annoying because of that adult frat boy thing going on, the alcoholism, how big he is, his delusion, the laughing, the drinking, the Mickey Mantle gene thing. But I don't think they hate him. I just think he can be a bit annoying. He's a bit much. Like even I like his podcast, but you have to take a break. He's a little bit, you know what I mean? He can kind of be a little bit exhausting. I can't imagine what it's like to be in his family and shit. But hey, so another comment I want to make quickly. Chris D'Elia. Looking at his Instagram, it looks like he's back. Chris D'Elia is back, I think, like actually back, like in the streets. And we knew already from the documentary. But if you just take a quick scan from here, right? Like from here onwards, maybe that picture's a good one. But before Chris D'Elia got cancelled, he was very prone to do all of that sort of like comedy, that his brand of comedy where he'd like, you know, be dancing around topless and stuff and doing like funny comedic comedy style things that he likes to do. And then he stopped doing it because obviously it looked bad because of the allegations. But now, if you look at this, his Instagram, he's fully clothed in a lot of the places. But then as you start to scroll up, obviously the poses start to get a little bit more suggestive here. He also starts to wear the flipping black nail polish, which is clearly a Gen Z bat signal, right? Like nail polish. He might also start wearing fucking pearls around his neck, like a pearl choker. And then he's obviously doing other bits and bobs. And if you slowly start to creep up on his Instagram, you're starting to see it again. There's wife stuff or whatever. Then again here, more skin starts to be shown. He starts back in the street. There's wife stuff. Like, I don't cheat. I'm with my wife. More wife content here. Kid content. I'm a dad. I'm a kid. I'm a dad. I'm with my wife. I don't diddle. And then as you keep going up on his Instagram, you keep scrolling. Look what you notice. Him being the tattoo guy, so young, cool and hip, tattooing something on another person. I think it's Life Rips on the tattoo artist. And then you scroll up to the final one just before recently. Look at this. He's finally back out there topless. So stuff he used to do before getting cancelled, the topless dancing and all that malarkey, the flexing, the posing, he is now back out doing it again, trying to lure all of these young, unsuspecting females into his log cabin. The new tattoo here. He's got a tattoo, a really big one, right? Going, you know, kind of going on the same theme of his kind of what they called? The cult, whatever cabin shop, whatever he's got. Was it? It's the caption says, "I found a place in some tall grass where we can share ideas." Right. So clearly he's kind of leaning into that place. I'm sure he's got a couple of messages from people saying, "Hey, I want to come into your log cabin. Can you give me the keys? I'd like to be in there. Can we be there alone? Wait for everything. No social media." And look at the second picture that he's showcasing his tattoo. The first one is the professional one taken from the tattoo artist himself. You see a little bit of titty meat there at the front. But look at the second one that Chris D'Elia has taken on his own phone. He's back out in these streets. Chest out, 2 chains, couple of man boobs here, right? Couple of man tits there at the front. Got the lips out, puckering them into the camera. The droopy eyes have gone, right? Looking straight into the camera, wanting unsuspecting victims to come into his DMs. This is proof he's back out on the streets, bro. This is signaling. It could be midlife crisis, which I definitely agree may be a thing, but I also think it's signaling. You know, all the tattoos are on show here. The neck tattoo, the paper plane, and now this big log cabin on his arm. So don't be surprised going forward if you start seeing Chris D'Elia rocking loads of sleeveless t-shirts going forward. Loads of fear of God, exaggerated sleeveless t-shirts, rocking them, flexing them and stuff. He's definitely back out on these streets. Chris D'Elia is definitely back out on these streets. If you were saying Chris pushing 50, yeah, if Drake, what you saying? Drake started a cult, he'd have thousands of willing participants too. Exactly. Look at this. Let's see the comments actually. Because I was looking, I was thinking, raw, man, Chris is definitely not missing a beat now. I think he's realized that that's the issue with like cancellation, especially in this era. Number one, you can't really get cancelled if you've got a fan base, like I always say. If you've got a decent fan base, you can definitely not get cancelled. And also, you have to remember, or you have to kind of think about it this way, is that if you survive the cancellation and you know you're guilty, you survive the cancellation, you know you're guilty, it can actually embolden you. It can actually empower you to think, you know what? No one can touch me. I survived a pedophile allegations. I survived somewhat. I don't think they were really rape, but they were like on the cusp of like rape allegations. I kind of survived cult allegations, and I'm still here. And it can make you feel even 10 feet taller than you already are. It actually make you feel even more brazen. Yeah, exactly. Like people saying, yeah, like KANYE, Raichi, exactly, same thing. And I think that's what Chris D'Elia is doing. He's basically reminding everyone, hey, remember you tried to cancel me? Remember you had some goons outside my comedy store trying to get my set cancelled? Well, I'm still out here, bitch. Let's see what the comments are saying here. Let's see how people have responded on the social medias about this post. Because I thought this was a bit sussy, but I also thought it was a clear indication that this guy knows the coast is clear and everything's okay for him. First comment, this dude's midlife crisis tats just get worse and worse. 652 likes. This is honestly pimping. A woman that looks like a lady. I'm not going to post, oh, is it going to come up? Cool. There's like an adult woman there. It was an honor. I guess that's maybe the tattoo artist. There's no way we're all going to fit in there. A lady. It's all about the tall grass, my babies. Someone called Bob. Don't know who that is. Christopher, whichever I don't know who that is. I'm impressed with you staying in shape after 40 and the tat. Sucking him off. A lady. That's the most relaxing bicep, tricep I've ever seen. Another person here. Sucking him off. Did it hot? Ha ha, funny. Another person. Crazy how white this canvas is. Another person. Chris living out the Uniburban fantasies. Another person. Hello, professional log cabin builder here. Just want to point out the Joyce about... Oh, shut up, you cunt. Another person. Got a tat in a cabin in the woods, yet this guy lives in Hollywood and drives a Ferrari. Another person. Neat stuff, slick stuff. Brian Callen. 1,186 likes. Let's get a sponge and rub that off, though. I guess. Let's see more comments here. Good place to start a cult. I'm in. A guy that's got a girlfriend. The cabin. A woman. Grown woman looks like. Guys, I also heard they shoot Lord of the Rings around the corner. Another person. You got the most cliche tats. Maybe get something good. Another person. That's not going to fit all of us. A guy. Simping. Another person here. A cabin in the mountainside. Are those mountain peaks in the background? Or are they your shoulders? Oh my God, the sucking off from... The actual sucking off from the guys is actually worse than the women, to be fair. Quite nauseating. Pack your bags, brother. We're going to a log cabin. A woman talking to somebody who supposedly might be her brother, which is weird already. You did what you did. You didn't have to go full Thomas Kincaid on us, but I'm glad you did. Cabin goals. Another person here. Verified. Dope. You know, when I was 40, I started getting yatted up. 21, 20, 30 was the first cycle of tats. 40, 43, then I stopped. I think it's well over 40 tats with 2 arm sleeves. Okay, congrats, I guess. Hey, you got a shack shettled with another person here. Cabin, hardly know her. The simping for Chris is gross, but it also goes to show why it was impossible to get him out of the paint. Unless it was a criminal allegation or charges, he was never going to get cancelled because Chris D'Elia's fandom is really strong. Like, they mess with him heavy. Like, heavy. Like, these fans are like, you know what I mean? Like, quickly doing all this nonsense. And then let's look at the video of him doing the kick where he looks like he's half naked. Let's see this one. Teaching my son how to fight. Okay, if it involves a kid in there, is there a kid in it? I'm not involved.
What's she doing?
Okay, yep, cool. I'll leave that. No need to get involved in that one. And then here's him tattooing the life rips on, I guess, a tattoo artist. What's that? A lot of fans come up with Sharpies at shows and ask me to sign them. The next day they get it permanent with ink. This is the only and the second. This is only the second Delia original life rips tattoo. The only people that have them are that person and that person. This another person that got it. Anyway, you get a gist. I was just thinking myself, right? I don't think there's. I can't think of many people, artists included. Yeah, well, I'm trying to think now. I can't think of many people, artist-wise, that I would turn a blind eye to if they got accused of diddling kids, and I'd want to get their name tattooed on me. I can't think of many. Or I'd be like in their comments sucking them off. I can't think of many. The only person I can think of who's kind of divisive in that way is maybe KANYE because of his comments. But KANYE, I've always been a fan of his artistry, his output that way. Maybe his motivational speeches in terms of creativity and that. I've never really been super sold to him as a personality or as a person from time. I always kind of recognized he was, he had that kind of bit of a cunt about him anyway from a long time ago. But I put up with it because of the music and the shoes and the clothes and shit, and I still do because of that. But even though I'm a fan of his stuff, I'm never gonna get Yeezy tattooed anywhere on me. I don't care that much. I like the clothes. I buy the shoes when I want it, but that's it. But I can't think of anyone else here. People thinking Michael Jackson. Even Michael Jackson. I wouldn't get it tattooed. Like, that's another level. It's like when I see posts of like Joe Rogan showing fans like getting tattoos of his face on their body. It's like, I don't know what that's about, man. That's another level of fame, another level of celebrity culture that I'm just not really a part of. Like, I like to support my people that I'd like to support by watching what they do, maybe going to the show or something, maybe donating some money here and there, whatever it may be. But I don't go as far as like standing them in comments, sucking them off by getting tattoos and stuff, paying for meet and greets. Like, I'll go watch a show, I'll support, I'll buy a drink, I'll hang out, I'll clap, I'll scream, I'll shout, and I'll go home. I don't need to do anything more than that, do you know what I mean? But I think some people like that contact, they like that community. And of course, the artists themselves, they like to oblige. I mean, they definitely will oblige and let you know, hey, I appreciate this, man. And they definitely come back out and let you know that everything's good in that regard. But it's never been my vibe in the slightest, to be fair. But yeah, Chris D'Elia is definitely not cancelled. He's back out in these streets, half naked, getting sleeve tattoos. He's definitely going to be, kind of saying, I'm getting a Zinga tat. Please don't, please, for the love of God, please don't do that. He's out here with top offs and shit, arms showing, pink, black nail polish. He might even do pink, who knows? Actually out there trying to signal to the kids. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the Brendan stuff because I've got everything to talk about here. I don't want to waste too much of your time. We're 2 hours in. I like to fucking talk, don't I? Shit, man. I'm so sorry. Let's continue here. Where is it? Where am I? Bear me 1 second here. Where'd I put it? What's it called? Watching the thing. Okay, Brendan comes. Yeah, to bench press. Okay, cool. Let's go. Let's see if I can find a clip first of all. Boom, 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 boom. Filthy hands. Is it that one? Nope. Yeah, this is the one. Cool. So, on an episode of the Calabasas Fight Companion, Brendan Schaub was sitting down with one of the guys from Bussin' with the Boys and Rampage Jackson, and randomly, as per usual, when you get athletes and whatnot hanging around and all that stuff, they started talking about weightlifting and whatnot. And because the NFL combines are on at the moment, where they do like, workouts and shit to try and get picked for teams, guess how it works. They started to comment on that one, like, what's your best rep max? What's your best this? What's your best that? So then one of the guys, the Bussin' from the Boys one, asks Brendan, which is always a bad thing to do if you want to get the truth. If you ask him like an open-ended question where he has a chance to either flex, humble brag, or be self-deprecating, he's always going to pick the top two. Humble brag or, or flex. He's never going to be self-deprecating, or he's never going to be even the fourth option, like, quietly humble and kind of play it down. Not happening. So this is it. This is Brendan basically taking the opportunity to flex and tell the room how much he can bench for reps.
The
probably 4 months ago, 315, 12 times.
12?
I did probably 4 months ago. I did probably 4 months ago, 315, 12 times.
12?
Yeah.
315, 12 times.
Yeah.
TRT did it 12 times.
You did it 12 times.
Yeah, I did 225, 40.
I heard it's a
No
small,
shit.
Yeah.
I heard it's a small percentage
What's up, dog?
of
Come on, bro.
humans.
Come on, man. This ain't the see you buff days, dog.
I heard it's
That's
Don't
why
let
you
me piss in a cup. I'll melt it, bro.
You don't miss bench day at the combine.
No,
day.
no,
You're like,
no.
Can you do
pussy.
315?
315? Yeah, probably a few times, but that's it.
Not 12. Huh?
No. Maybe 2.
You think he's lying?
No.
No.
I've seen this.
I post it too.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I
I've
post
seen
it.
this video.
I'll post
Like, he
it too.
fucking-
Yeah, I deadlift 600.
Yeah.
Most blew my asshole out. I'll never do that again. Yeah.
By the way, analyzing this clip, number one analysis for me. Brendan, when he gets asked a question, or when he starts to provide, the information regarding what he can lift, look at what he initially does when he does it. He starts rubbing his eye, and he's also not looking at whoever he's talking to. Right? They're over there on the right, and he's starting to rub his eye now. Rubbing his eye, speaking, I do that, and then he looks with one eye, and then with the other eye. That to me is proof enough that he's lying. That dancing around, moving your eye around, because this is all from DSP. I've realized that from DSP. Looking at Dark Side Phil, the dancing, the darting of your eyes, and like, I do this, it's dancing all over the place. It's flipping, your eyes are twerking. Definitely, in my opinion, is a sign that you're lying. In my opinion, personally. Then, another thing to mention here, right? So I've got to charge my other phone. Another thing to mention here is this. The other guy, the bussing with your boys guy, who I wish I remember his name. Sorry, I don't remember your name, guy. I don't mean disrespectful, but I don't watch American sports, and I'm obviously from London, so, we play real football here. Haha. So that guy, when Rampage Jackson says to him, do you think he's lying? The pause, the half-second pause says everything. Because that guy is currently an NFL player. He's like currently in the game. Like he's currently on the front line. Look even his eyes there. Look how he's looking at him. Nigga, you're full of shit, right? He's actually playing the game right now at a high level, right? And he's looking and thinking, hold on, like what? But look at when Rampage Jackson says to him, do you think he's lying? There's like a half-second pause, and he's like, look at this. Watch, let's see here. Rampage Jackson says to him, do you think he's lying? Look at how he reacts.
Can you do
Pussy.
315?
315? Yeah, probably a few times, but that's it.
Not 12. Huh?
No. Maybe 2.
You think he's lying?
No.
You see that little, he didn't say, no. That little hesitation. You think he's lying? Huh.
No. I've seen
again.
No.
You think he's lying?
No. Maybe 2.
You think he's lying?
No. Maybe 2.
You think he's lying?
No. Maybe 2.
You think he's lying?
No. I've seen.
And the thing is sort of funny about this is that Rampage Jackson is a bit of a he pokes Brendan's buttons a bit, right? He likes to wind him up, so he's willing to joke around, and he doesn't believe him either. He doesn't believe him, and then Brendan says here very sheepishly through his teeth that he can post it online.
I post it too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've
right.
seen this video.
I'll post it too. Yeah, I deadlift 600.
Yeah.
Most blew my asshole out. I'll never do that again. Yeah.
That's the only one that he's actually real about, that he's actually not telling a lie about. He looked him in the eye, he made a self-deprecating joke about it, and then he just moved on. That for sure is believable. But the other claim that he benched what? We're going to do a bit of research about it. Let's do it.
Probably 4 months ago, 315, 12 times.
12?
Yeah.
315, 12 times.
Yeah.
TRT did it 12 times.
Yeah.
You did it 12 times.
Yeah, I did 225, 40.
I heard it's
No.
315 12 times, and what's that? 225 40. Insane. So let's go quickly and just double check this, because I want to just see this, because this to me doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. Personally, it doesn't make any sense, right? So let's just assess a couple of things here. One, of course, that I've kind of grabbed from the Frying the Kids subreddit, so big up those guys for highlighting this clip, because I would have never found it. So this is a clip of Brendan doing a workout at Zoo Culture. Right? Zoo Culture, that is Bradley Martin's gym that people kind of call the influencer gym, the one that's got all the red equipment that you see everywhere. That's Bradley Martin's gym, right? And I guess he's doing, that's actually Thingamajig. That's actually Mark Harley, I'm pretty sure, right? That's BGL helping him there, spotting him on the bench press. But it's been wildly known and established within the the homeless cats scene and whatnot, and just in general, that Brendan has horrible form when he's weightlifting. He kind of lives like a bro you'll see in a gym. Like most, I go to gym quite regularly, and you see these kind of guys in there who just don't care about form, and they're just all about, people call them ego lifts. They just want to get as much weight as possible on the bar and just lift it, push it, pull it, whatever, right? They don't care what the form is like. And Brendan does a lot of that. It's a lot of hood stuff, not a lot of form, not a lot of good, just not really good bracing yourself, just everything kind of all over the place, just trying to get the weight on top. Now, looking at that weight that's already on there, I want to quickly check something because I don't really know too tough about it. Maybe some of you guys might actually be able to help me. How many plates are there? There's like 4 plates there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're each, 45 pounds. And then and I don't know what this one is. What do you guys think this is? Is that like a 5? The small one. What do you think that is? Is that a 5 or a 10? Which is a 5 or a 10? Or maybe does it go like that? It should go, isn't it? It should go 5 or 10. Do you guys think that's a 5 or a 10? You hit 15, you probably hit 5 reps most. I know what that is. So there's 4 plates there, 4, 45 and 5, 10. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This current weight that he's at now at the moment, okay, so that's currently 425. Really? That's a 10, you think? So this is 425 together, this whole thing. With these 4 plates of 445 and that's 666. What is it? It's a 10. Okay, it's definitely, so it's a 10. So that small plate's a 10, and these are definitely 20s then probably, right? Or no, sorry, not 20. There's a 45 plates. So this is 420. People are saying this is 420 pounds altogether, including the barbell, I'm assuming, right? Because you got to include that. Because that's the thing. When I go gym, I don't usually look at my waist that way. I just put whatever I can put. And I'm a bit hood in that regard. So imagine we have the power strength bars or power strength plates like a Leco. So I guess the 25s are red, the 20s are blue, the 15s are yellow, and the greens are 10s. So usually I just try and stack as much as I can on that way. I'm not really thinking about anything else. Let me just oh shit, my bad. 1 second, a minute. 4 plates is 405. People are saying, yeah, okay, cool. 4 plates is 405. I'm not really too sure. But anyway, regardless, it doesn't matter. Let's just say, let's look at the form of what he's got now, and to take consideration what he said before. Let's look at this form. Yeah. How bad is that? If this person thinks that kind of form or that kind of bracing, that kind of alleged strength is going to be able to withstand doing 12 reps or even 40 reps of anything, I just don't believe it. Anything over 200 pounds, I don't believe it. Because I know what 200, because I think my max now at the moment, because I do like 3 sets of 5, 3 sets of 5 reps, and I'm at like about 220 pounds that I can put on a barbell back squat. And I know how heavy that feels. And my bench press is horrible because my chest is so weak. I think the max I can do on my chest is like probably 60 or something, right? It's super, super small. But my back squat's pretty decent. I know what that feels like on my back, 220. And I can do that for reps, 5 reps, 3 sets, pretty easy. I can bang that out. There's no way this guy with that form can do 220 plus 12 or 40 times. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And the people in the chat as well. And that bounce anyway would immediately count out in terms of a rep. That's not a legit rep. He's legitimately bouncing it off his chest. Like, look. There's zero control, zero brace, zero really activation in anything is there. If anything, it looks like it hurts. It looks like it could actually do some damage to you. And look how high up he's bum. And look from here, because there's different positions, right? Some positions you can sort of arch your back. Other people do believe you should maybe keep your bum and then just keep your shoulder blades tucked together and then arch your back and push out. But regardless, look how high up his bum is lifted. From being down on the bench to look how high up it gets. Trying to push the bar back onto the flipping rack. That is horrible form. Maybe the worst I've ever seen. So, because of that, we need to go and check out and see what actual good bench press form looks like. And I would like to go to Or maybe let's not even do that. We should do that. We should do that. Let's see what good bench press form looks like. And I want to check out my guy. What's his name? What's his flipping? I've got the book. Not Power Speed and Endurance. What's the flipping author's name? He's really famous for weightlifting. I use his techniques all the time for my overhead presses and shit. Fuck, what's his name? American dude, bald, short. He's known for it. He teaches you how to back squat properly, how to press, how to bench press. What's his fucking name? He's got a book about power, speed, and endurance. Is it weightlifting? Is it weightlifting? Is it weightlifting? I forgot his name. Let's just do bench press technique. Not a big. What's his fucking name? What's his fucking name? I think is it strength? Is it strength and endurance? What's his name? Let's just do bench press. Let's do bench press. Bench press technique. All right, let's just do that. I forgot his name, man. He's like a really famous weightlifting guy, and he's got a really essential book. I've got the book somewhere around here as well. Like absolute idiot. I keep forgetting his name. What the fuck's his name? And that's the gold standard for me in terms of a bench press, personally for me. Like look, even this form of this thumbnail, Brendan's form is mostly like this one here on the left that says no chest gains, where he's flipping shoulders are like this instead of actually being there. Do you know what I mean? For sure. So that bench press is horrible. That's the one. Starting strength. That's the one. See? And I watched it. See? This is the one I go to. This is my go-to clip to see the proper technique. Starting strength. Sorry, that's the book that you should. That's what I've got. I've got starting strength. That's the guy that I kind of go to. I remembered. Okay, cool. So let's check this out and see what actual good form looks like. Let's go here. Yeah, let's start from here. Let's start.
Available. However, if you're working inside a correctly set up power rack, a spotter is not absolutely necessary. Start with an empty bar. Lie down on the bench with your eyes looking straight up. In this position, you should be far enough down from the bar, meaning toward the foot end of the bench, that when you look up, your eyes are focused on the downside of the bar. Your feet should be flat on the ground, with your shins approximately vertical. Your upper back should be flat against the bench, with your lower back in an anatomically normal arched position. Take an overhand grip on the bar. Your grip should be somewhere between 22 and 24 inches, measured between the index fingers. This grip width will result in a vertical forearm for most people when the bar is touching the chest at the bottom. The bar should rest on the heel of your palm, not on the fingers, and directly over the bones of the forearm. Just like the press, this grip is best accomplished by pronating your hands with a slight internal rotation of your arms. You are now ready to take the bar out of the rack. Look directly up at the ceiling and push up on the bar, locking out your elbows. Move the bar out to a position directly over the line of your shoulder joints.
Look already how beautiful that form is compared to what Brendan was doing. It's like night and day, isn't it?
This is the place where the bar is in balance at lockout. Note carefully the position of the bar against the ceiling. This picture is your reference for the path the bar will take as you move it down and up. You will lower the bar to your chest, touch the chest, and then drive the bar right back to the exact position you are looking at on the ceiling overhead.
So that's how we got the proper technique. Now I want to check out and see NFL Combine bench press. I want to see what it looks like, right? When people are lifting that crazy amount of weight. And also, I think I got it here, the workouts. What's the workout? So the workouts for the Combine as follows. 40-yard dash, a bench press of 225 pounds, 120 kg, a vertical jump, broad jump, 20-yard shuttle, 3-cone drill, and a 60-yard shuttle and position-specific drills. Okay, cool. Let's go back to the thing. Where is it? Where are we? Is this? Yeah, let's type on here. Let's say NFL Combine bench press. I just want to see what it looks like. Let's do best bench press because this guy is insane. Just load up. And look at all these dudes, right? So what have you got here? Stephen Pierre breaks bench press record with 49 reps in 2019. Another one, this one. Cool. So let's not watch this. Let's watch this. Let's do this one. Let's do the compilation. Oh really? Is that true? Dustin's the clipper. Don't worry. I'm gonna watch your clip, mate. It's on the list. Don't worry. I won't forget it. Dustin says if you want to gain muscle, bench presses suck. Do dumbbell presses. They help isolate. So what do bench presses do then? If bench presses don't help to grow muscle, why do people bang them out then so much? They must do something in terms of strength. What is that more so then? Or is that more so like an arm thing? I don't know. I'm a bit of a noob when it comes to stuff. I just bang out I just do my free, my back squat, my deadlifts, my bench press, my overhead presses, my power squats and stuff. I forgot that. Is it power squat? Whatever it's called. When we catch it, I just do that and I kind of go. Bench press is for strength. Dumbbells build more functional strength. Okay, cool. Good to know. But look at it. Let's look at the technique of this. 220 for reps.
Come on. Don't short on it. Lock them out. Every rep. Make them count. Keep going,
That's a lot of weight too, right? That's my fucking max on a back squat. So I'm looking at that thinking, fucking hell. That looks amazing.
Come on. Let's go. Help him out. Let's go. Let's go. Good. Stay with it. Come on. Good. Let's go. Yeah. Keep it coming. Yeah. There you go. Come on. I got one. You good?
Oh, that's Saquon Barkley, right? That's in the NFL now. I guess that's what I keep saying, Saquon. I'm assuming, right?
Come on. Let's go. Keep going. Come on.
Yeah, the form is gorgeous. It's only now he's starting to bounce. Only now, if you notice, only now as he's starting to advance in the numbers, he's starting to bounce now. Papa was already bouncing from the first one. And Ledger, he said he could do that for reps as well. But this kid's already bouncing when he's getting to the high numbers now. Now that his kind of form is kind of, is leaving him and he's, maybe, what's it called? Endurance of his muscles is going. Cool. Cool, there you go, done. But anyway, that is kind of the major part of what I wanted to say about this. And then the other thing also regarding that kind of bench press thing that I think is really weird in general is that for the most part, Brendan being able to lift that amount of weight is still impressive. Even if the form was terrible. The fact that he can do that anyway with terrible form, right, should be a good thing. Like, that is actually a good thing. The fact that he can do this anyway is a good thing. Because it means that if he actually gets his form in check and he focuses on doing it correctly, he can maybe even increase his weight. If he can fug it out like this, just imagine what he can do if he actually got good form. But the weird thing is that it's that kind of first instance to lie. That's the thing that really kind of bugs me out, because this guy is still stronger than 90% of males walking around nowadays, right? He can still fuck up most humans in the world. But still, that's not enough. There still has to be an extra layer on top to make him look even better than whatever he already is, just as he is normally. I don't understand that. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing that kind of bugs my mind. Like you even if you didn't make it in NFL, the fact that you was a walk-on for an NFL team is still an achievement. The fact that even if you wasn't a champion on the UFC and you got beaten up a few times, the fact that you played in the UFC, the fact that you fought in the UFC is already crazy. You're already in the higher echelons of men out there. And then the fact that you got freakishly amazing strength anyway is still amazing. Even if it's not you doing, crazy kind of amounts on the bench press and whatever you're saying, all the lies you're making up, even if you can't do that stuff, the fact that you can do this, like to this level, you can take that amount of weight.
Yeah! Holy fuck.
Right, with terrible form and do that, that's also a good achievement. That's amazing. But for whatever reason, this guy just loves to lie. Like every opportunity he gets given to lie, he will take it and run with it. That's the really weird and scary thing about the dude that I don't understand. And even to this day, it's one of the things that kind of really kind of makes me think, like, is he kind of all there right in the head, or is this just like a thing that he's just done from when he's young and he doesn't notice it? Because that guy, NFL guy, gave him a reason to lie, and he took it and run. Instead of being a bit humble, or maybe even kind of playing down his strength and saying, "No, I'm not as strong as I am now." But this guy is sitting there now. This is Brendan Schaub, like many years taken away from the UFC, many years taken away from flipping football, many years taken away from being a really fit and strong athlete. He's just like a regular guy nowadays, but he's still able to kind of lift this amount of weight. That's just still impressive. But for him, it's not enough. He has to still lie. That's what I don't understand. That's why maybe in general, the kind of only conclusions to take away from this is that he's a legitimate pathological liar. Like legitimately. Like, and it's quite scary, which means that it's hard to believe anything that he says. Do you know what I mean? Just in general, because he lies about legitimately everything, even when it's not necessary to lie. It's fucking weird, man, personally. I think it's really, really strange. But hey, what can you do? Next one, let's quick one to mention this. Let's say this, yeah. Have you guys seen this? So, this clip is from Joey Diaz's podcast, and Joey Diaz went on a bit of a rant regarding people in comedy, especially up-and-coming kids, reaching out to him, trying to get spots or trying to get bring-ins to start comedy or whatnot, to get put on certain shows, to go on certain stages, and Joey Diaz is now getting offended or getting annoyed by it. Being a fan of Joey Diaz and being a fan of Uncle Joey just in general and his podcast and whatnot, it's a bit funny to hear him saying this, because I think without realizing, his whole crew, the JRE Extended Universe guys included, they have inadvertently created this problem themselves. Because of how successful that group of guys are, now these up-and-coming kids that are going to LA, or even people, don't have to be kids, people that are moving to LA, trying to become famous, or just moving to places to go and do comedy, they are now thinking however those guys made it is the actual normal way to make it, when really that is the exception and one of those kind of like once in a lifetime type of occasions. But they kind of created it. So they created this kind of scene, they created this kind of culture around comedy, and now that they're kind of reaping the rewards of it, the seeds from it, they're kind of getting annoyed. So I thought that was kind of funny. So let's hear Joey Diaz kind of complain about these kids coming expecting handouts.
One of the things that I also want to address is something that somebody else said to me recently. And they said that about 2 years ago, before the pandemic, they reached out to me for a spot at a comedy show, and I told them no, and they thought that I was a liar, that I don't help other comics. And I was reading the thing, because I had heard that before, that people were mad at me, young comics were mad at me, like when I say, pick up the phone and call people. And then I'd use a story when somebody called me, and I didn't know how to really break that down for people. And
pick up the phone and call people, just don't call me.
It's all broken down by the intention. The intention, okay? When I was a young comic, likely 4 or 5 years, yes, I was impressionable. I was impressed by comics like, Carlos Mencia, Doug Stanhope, Wendy Liebman, Jackie Flynn. There was a complete different stock of stand-up comics that were on the working circuit then. Rocky LaPorte, Andrew Dice Clay was just finishing up a huge fucking massive arena tour. Roseanne was blowing up. All these people were blowing up. We didn't have the camera. We didn't have a lot of things. We didn't have the phone with the video in it. We didn't have a lot of those things. So it was hard work based. Whatever you're going to do, it's always hard work based. Whether you're going to be a fucking piano player, whatever the fuck. When a comic would come to town, like Felicia Michaels did in '94, I got a guest set to Felicia Michaels. And afterward, I went up on stage during the guest set. I bombed, whatever, but I didn't go down there for Felicia to save my life. Are you with me here? I didn't go down there for somebody to save my life. I always knew that nobody could save my life. I knew that if I believed, I didn't know this, I believed that if I put hard work in, that I would get better at something. I would get if I put hard work into anything, I believe I'm going to get better on it, right? So the first big comic I met that wasn't big at the time, but he was big, was Doug Stanhope. He was big to me. He was doing a lot better than I was. I was an MC and he was a feature. In my world, he didn't need to be on TV. He was doing a lot better than me. When I met Doug, I didn't know that comics took other comics on the road. I didn't know any of that stuff. I was ripe. I was just impressed with Doug and his skills. When we finished the show, Doug was talking about if I knew a hotel in the area to stay in, and I'm like, yeah, but listen, I don't know what you're getting paid here tonight, but it's probably not a lot. Why don't you stay at my house? When I offered that to Doug, I didn't offer that to Doug for him to change my life. I offered it to Doug as a fucking, just being a good guy. I want to save you $50. Because even when I was a criminal, my motto was always to make somebody's day. Some days it meant, me robbing you, but I didn't make your day, but I made my day. But that was basically it. So I helped him, but my intentions were pure. When he came back a year later, he was headlining. I was still an MC, and I was impressed with him even more. And I still didn't ask him. I didn't even know what to ask him. I would ask him a few questions about stand-up. I mean, what is this like? Shit like that. And then other comics I became friends with. When the Triple Run, I worked there for 2 years. 2 comics came in. That's 104 comics a year. That's 208 in 2 years I worked with. And I don't remember any of them passed. And seriously, all those comics were headliners in 1991.
Anyway, you get the gist of what he's trying to say, right? The funny thing that I wanted to make comment about it is that I feel like, oddly enough, as much as he's got a kind of a gripe is legit, what he's saying, it must be annoying when you're a legit comic and you've made it the hard way, and then you have all these new kids coming in who want to do what you do because of how cool you've made it look, thinking that there's always a shortcut to kind of get ahead. I understand that can be annoying, and they want kind of handouts to be saved. But what's my issue here is that there is a lack of acknowledgement, really, from all of these guys of just how once in a lifetime monumental and just important that era that they kind of grew up in and came up in comedy when Joe Rogan became Joe Rogan in terms of his podcast. People don't really realize that, they don't really realize that what it kind of did for them as a little scene, as a community. Because I feel like if Joe Rogan wasn't around, I'm not really too sure stand-up would be as like mainstream as it is in terms of culture, in terms of these guys being like invited to talk shows or to do celebrity stuff or to do movies and stuff. It's become an integral part of culture. It was always a part of entertainment industry, but I don't know if Joe Rogan's podcast wasn't as successful as it was and all of their podcasts kind of got risen up at the same time, if comedy would be at the level that it is now. So the reason that they're getting these guys kind of hunting them in their DMs and stuff and trying to kind of clout chase is because of how amazing and fun they've made it look. But also, we need to understand, right? We need to understand this, right? That it's really important. It's also important to their success. A big part of their success is attributed and tied to coming up in the LA scene at the Comedy Store. At the same time, podcasting is blowing up. And at the same time, one of your friends, Joe Rogan, is evolving into the male Oprah. That contributed to their success. There's no doubts about it, but these guys overlook it. And I think they overlook it because of the nature of the gig. Similar to DJing, I think stand-up is so brutal that no one ever forgets to suck. No one ever forgets the times where they're performing at a bar somewhere and people are legitimately fighting in the middle of your set. No one forgets that you're performing somewhere and someone from the kitchen is screaming, or a waiter is screaming the numbers of someone's food. No one ever forgets that. No one forgets allegedly selling tickets, then going to the venue and there's no tickets sold. So the sucks so bad that the guys never forget, but they also don't acknowledge the advantages and the privileges they've been given along the way that have kind of helped them get they want to get to. And some of them, it needs to be said, wouldn't be where they are if they didn't have that cosign rub from Rogan. And the kids nowadays know, especially when you see from people doing influencer content online, the kids nowadays know, they know how important it is and how beneficial it helps to kind of collaborate with people. if you go on someone's podcast and you're a known person, it brings your audience to them, it gets them some views, then that person blows up. They do the same thing to other people. It's like it's like what Joe Rogan's created. Joe Rogan's created this little scene of people where they all go on each other's podcasts and they kind of benefit and help each other by going on each other's shows. So it's no surprise that these kids coming up think if they get a cosign from Joey Diaz, that it's going to get them to the moon because they've seen what it's done for people. Like, look at even Lee Sayat. Lee Sayat started doing comedy now, and maybe you could attribute maybe an early part of his, not success, but his ability to book gigs because of his name recognition with Joey Diaz. Those things help. So I get why he's complaining, but in another side of things, unfortunately, these guys have proven, especially the ones that are not funny, they've proven if you're Brendan, even Brendan's a good example, Brendan Schaub's a good example. If you're Joe Rogan's friend, it can really change your life and change your career, the trajectory of it. So these kids coming up are looking at it and thinking, you know what? If I just do the same thing that these guys did and befriend Joey Diaz, befriend Brian Callen, befriend, Brendan Schaub, Joe Rogan, it could really change my life and make my career go crazy. And it clearly has done for others. So they're not in the wrong for thinking that way, really, if you think about it, and you kind of take your, annoyance out of it a little bit, in my opinion. What people saying in the chat? Severe Design said, Debate Club, do you think it's necessary to put in years of comedy before you are deemed worthy to have a special? Not really. Nah. The special thing, I think, for better or worse, Brendan Schaub getting a special so early with Showtime essentially blew that all out of the water, and it kind of changed the game because now specials aren't really given to you because of how funny you are or because of how many years in the game you've been in. If anything, specials, like any bits of content online, are more like a what can you do for me? Like, they're mutually beneficial. For the platform, they're thinking, hey, you've got your own audience. You get tons of views on YouTube and Instagram, and social engagement is crazy. We want to bring some of those eyes and ears to our platform because most platforms that do video are subscription-based, and most of them, in terms of KPIs for the board managers and stuff, are highly dependent on how many members they can get, from their time there. So if they can increase the amount of members by bringing some talent on board and paying them a fee, it's a win-win. So specials aren't about whether you're funny. They're about, can you bring your inbuilt audience to our platform, and then can we convert your audience into paid subscribers? So it's kind of like an acquisition sort of game. It's less about, are they comedically good? Does the style match our style? No. That's why basically Dave Chappelle's still on Netflix. Even though he said what he said about those trans jokes and stuff, people kind of cancel him. They basically kept him on board because he is beneficial to Netflix's bottom line, because a lot of people that sign up to Netflix are signing up to watch fucking Dave Chappelle specials. That's what they're kind of doing. So that's the kind of game at the moment when it comes to specials. It's not about whether or not you're good, and also about, can you bring eyes and ears to my platform, and can I turn and convert your eyes and ears to pay subscribers, which obviously is going to benefit us in the long run. That's clearly what they kind of they're kind of currently thinking in that regard. But I just find it funny that Joey Diaz was complaining about that. Anyway, moving on. Let's see this clip here. This is pretty good. So, BGL, aka Mark Harley, aka Hella Mark Harley, has been slowly but surely populating his YouTube now with some bits of content and sharing even more juicy behind the scenes goss regarding his time at Thick Boy, working with Brendan Schaub, Brian Callen, all those kind of guys. So today, randomly, off on a whim, he just decided to drop this absolute bomb out of nowhere, which basically highlights and maybe exposes the fractious relationship that Joe Rogan currently has with Alex Jones, and maybe just, how Joe Rogan has changed over the years, despite him being a very big support of Alex Jones in the beginning. And now suddenly it sounds like he's kind of cooled on him, according to this clip on Hella Mark Harley's YouTube. But definitely check out his YouTube channel. I was ragging on the guy a lot because he was being a chatty patty in everyone else's platform, but not getting his own thing sorted out. But definitely go subscribe to Hella Mark Harley's channel. He's slowly but surely populating it and putting stuff on there. So definitely check him out on there and see what it is. Oh, what did it say on there? Okay, I'll read it after it's finished. But yeah, check him out, subscribe there. But let's change the clip. And it's titled, Alex Jones Crashes Joe Rogan's Dinner. And this is a voice note of Brendan Schaub recapping what happened when Alex Jones did crash that said dinner.
Yo, so we do the show, it goes great. You saw most of it, so it goes great. And then even though I didn't really plug anything, which is all good. But then we all go to dinner. and Eddie invites Alex Jones, and so Alex Jones is sitting. It went Rogan on one side, me on the opposite. So me and Rogan sitting across each other. Then Callan's next to Rogan, and then next to Callan is Alex Jones, and next to me is Eddie. Right, so that's the setup. And so Alex Jones gets there, and he's just eyeing Rogan the whole time. You can see he's just like, it was random he came. Like, Eddie's like, no, Alex Jones coming. Rogan's like, for what? And he's like, oh, he just wants to see you. And so Rogan's like, all right, yeah, he's cool. He's like, it's random, but all right. So he gets in, you can just tell Alex Jones had an agenda. So as soon as he could, Alex is like, he's like, Joe, I think that, I'm all over the news right now, and it's never been hotter in the line, and I just need a platform to do it. I got to come on the show. I think it'd be great. And that's my Alex Jones impression. And Rogan's like, what? And he's like, I just think you and I together, I need a platform, and you need to let me come on the show. And Rogan's like, stop. You're not coming to my show. And Alex is like, I think it'd be good, if I'm like a gorilla with rocks, bash them together, and and Rogan's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Literally gets in his face, goes, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes, you can't come on my show, dude. He goes, you're talking about these kids that died, and you don't even think about the consequence for me. I don't need the fucking heat. It's not happening. And Alex like, I know, I think it'd be good. He's like, stop. Quit fucking asking me. And then Eddie started going off about some conspiracy on the government. And Alex takes his phone out to film all of this. And Rowan's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, we're at dinner, dude. Put your fucking phone down. Don't blast this out. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And Rogan was a savage on him. And Alex is like, all right, well, and then after he realized it wasn't happening, he's like, all right, well, I'm going to get going. I appreciate you guys having me. And you're just like, what the fuck?
So, the funny thing about that clip, number one, is it definitely highlights how Joe Rogan has changed over the years. Joe Rogan now is the kind of guy who is only looking out for Joe Rogan. Maybe he's always been like that, but I think ever since the Spotify deal, he's definitely been a lot more careful about who he has on his show, who he endorses, and who he co-signs. A big example for that, for me, glaring one, was how he treated the Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia cancellations, and when they went through what they went through, right? Chris D'Elia being accused of diddling and running a cult of all these girls that he's getting tattooed and shit and all this sort of crazy shit, and of course Brian Callen being accused of all the rapes. So when that shit happened, Joe Rogan went radio silent. He didn't speak about those guys ever again, and I think for a long time, maybe it was like a year plus, he didn't even mention Brian Callen's name. Chris D'Elia has been completely excommunicated from his brain. He doesn't even say about him, but he never would mention those guys again. And why I think it was funny was because before that happened, Joe Rogan wouldn't shut up about cancel culture, especially when it concerned Louis C.K. Because the Louis C.K. story, according to people that are in the scene, how they kind of were telling it, it wasn't actually anything bad. It was with consenting adults, but I guess the girls maybe got, they maybe got second thoughts and they maybe complained about it after. But Louis C.K. was known as a guy to always ask permission before he did what he did, and those two girls agreed, and everything was cool, and then later on something changed. So a lot of the guys in the scene were annoyed by it because they all know Louis C.K. and they all know his kinks, and they knew he was always somewhat respectable about it and decent, and he would never try and do anything weird about it. But regardless of what you think about that story, they wouldn't shut up about it. They wouldn't shut up about it. And any other story about cancel culture, they'll be talking about it. Oh, the women are lying, the this, the that, the cancel culture this, cancel culture that, you can't do nothing to. Then the moment cancel culture hits their little community, boom, everyone becomes a fucking monk. No one has anything to say. Everyone was quiet. And the Brian Callen thing, fair enough, with the rapes and the sexual allegation, it's a little bit hard to get involved with. But when it comes to Chris D'Elia and diddling, you'd think people would have a stance, because a lot of those guys in comedy, especially quite a lot of male stand-ups, have daughters. And some of them are maybe close to the ages of girls that allegedly Chris D'Elia might be interested in. But none of them took a moral or principled stance. They all were quiet about it, right? Quiet. But then on the other side, when it comes to Joe Rogan, what's funny about this is that with Alex Jones, for the longest time, people, before even the Sandy Hook thing happened, people were like, Alex Jones is a piece of shit. He's a conspiracy theorist. He kind of, elicits fucking, he's dangerous. He's putting all this stuff out there. He's reckless on his platform. People really didn't like Alex Jones for a long time. One prominent person, I think, within that scene was Tom Segura, who was kind of clear about how much he disliked Alex Jones. But Joe Rogan was one of the only people in media, in entertainment, who was backing and riding Alex Jones, saying, no, he's actually a good guy. No, he actually gets a lot of stuff right. No, I've known him for a while. He's really funny. If you get him drinking, if you get him not talking about crazy stuff and actually get him to structure and sit down and talk normally, he's good. Like those pods with Eddie Bravo and Alex Jones are fucking phenomenal and legendary. The one with Alex Jones and Tim Dillon are really good. Like he can actually be a decent guest. Like they kind of try to humanize Alex Jones. That's what Joe Rogan did. He humanized Alex Jones. Then the moment things went left for Alex Jones, and in his actual moment of need, when Alex Jones actually needed help, and again, I don't subscribe to him needing the help or being deserving of it, because what he did with those Sandy Hook victims, parents and stuff, and the whole false flag and shit, and the whole crisis actor stuff was horrible. And if he has to lose his career off the back of that, it just is what it is. That's the price you pay for playing that game. But in Alex Jones's favor, look at it from Alex Jones's eyes, the moment he needed Joe Rogan, in his real moment of need, Joe Rogan completely washed his hands of him. Completely. He's never been on the show again since since he got obviously, found guilty of what he done with the parents and stuff and got fined that crazy amount of money. I think he's meant to be, declaring bankruptcy soon. The one time he needed a platform like Joe Rogan's, which is kind of free speech, neutral, say your piece, anti-woke, all this sort of stuff, Joe Rogan completely wiped his hands off him. Why? Because it's not beneficial for Joe Rogan, which is fine, but it's just funny to see that same guy who was a bastion of free speech, the bastion of going against cancel culture, number one, ditch Brian Callen, who's literally, his friend of 20 plus years in the comedy scene, and then ditch somebody who he went so hard for and fought for in Alex Jones the moment things went left. So to see that happening and playing out in real time is absolutely hilarious. The other thing that's super hilarious is what Brendan says here in the beginning. This says everything that you need to know about Brendan Shaw's relationship with Joe Rogan, or this makes me think, rewind, this also makes me think why, this is also why I would say I'm quite sympathetic and I feel sorry for Joe Rogan in some regards, because I'm a fan. I still think, in terms of being a multi-millionaire, close to a billionaire type of guy, he's still pretty cool in some respects. It's a shame that now he's getting older and he's becoming way more conservative and weird. Not even conservative and good, just conservative and strange with his views. And he's just kind of one of those type of guys now, unfortunately. And he's not very willing to hear the other sides in certain stuff, and kind of he's a bit dogmatic in certain approaches and a little bit kind of tunnel vision on some things. The one thing I do feel sorry about with Joe Rogan, similar to what happened with Brian Callen and how he tried to intimidate Bobby Lee, I don't think Joe Rogan knows how his friends use his name. I don't think he's aware of it, or the people in his circle who basically take advantage of his name and kind of use it to do illicit things, or how they view him. He might think they're his friends, but the way that they view him is sort of transactional. It's kind of like, oh, you're this guy with all this fame and this amazing platform. We're going to get as much as we can out of you, and that's it. Because I've heard certain comedians, when they do podcasts, after they kind of go on JRE, say, oh, the JRE bump wasn't actually that great. I didn't get that many followers. I've seen a few comedians say that as a joke, but obviously not joking, they're serious. And they go to show that they don't really value the friendship of the guy at all. They just want him for the platform. And this little clip or quip from Brendan is a clear indication of how he sees Rogan.
We do the show, it goes great. You saw most of it, so it goes great. And then even though I didn't really plug anything, which is all good. But then,
so after a fight companion, it sounds like, or some sort of podcast together, the first thing Brendan says after, talking to flipping, what's his face, BJ on the text about what happened, is that, yeah, hey, it was a good show, it was great, even though I didn't get to plug my dates and stuff. That's what he's concerned about, reporting this. Like, hanging out with Joe is more so an occasion of plugging dates. So when they go into the show, instead of thinking about cool talking points or things to maybe bring up to Joe that might blow his mind, or bits that might be cool to be viral, the first thing in their mind, they're probably doing it when in the Uber, they're going over their dates. Okay, have I got merch to sell? Do I have a new collaboration? Am I playing somewhere that's got what? Or they may be looking at the dates thinking, okay, what dates are low on ticket sales? Let me mention that one, not that one. That's what they're doing. They're not even thinking about the show. They're not thinking about how good it will be to see their friend again. Oh, it's been a long time. Joe's in Austin. Let's go hang out with him. Nah, they're just thinking, you know what? What place is low on tickets? Okay, what places? Where can I sell the merch? That's the first thing they got in mind. That's why I feel a little bit sorry for Rogan in that regard. That's who he hangs around with. Do you know what I mean? People like that. And it's also funny in this clip, where Brendan says something like, "Oh, like Joe was surprised that Alex Jones was coming." So clearly, they weren't even talking. at that time. He probably completely aired him. So Alex Jones has been probably texting Rogan a lot on the side. Rogan probably left him on scene, on Instagram, on texts, on WhatsApp. And then Alex Jones heard through Eddie Bravo that he was going to be in a restaurant, and then he bum rushed the restaurant. And maybe Eddie Bravo is kind of, feels bad for Jones as well, because he's like, hey, Rogan was your guy and he used to ride for you, and now suddenly you've been, found guilty in court. He doesn't want anything to do with you because he doesn't want to fuck up his fucking Spotify check. I thought that was very telling. That was very, very, very telling in that regard, in that relationship. But Jesus Christ, man, what an absolute mess. The only thing as well to say from it is that how gossipy and chatty-patty are these guys? Like, really? Brendan has known Rogan what? Let's say estimate. Brendan's known Rogan 10 plus years, maybe 10 years, right? Rogan as well was a severely private person. Really, really private. Doesn't talk about his family much. Doesn't talk about his wife. Doesn't talk about his kids. Nothing. Zero. Keeps it stum. Keeps it tight. Extended family. Everything's really kind of close circle. Clearly, he's who he hangs out with also. He picks who he hangs out with. I've heard him mention on podcasts what they do when they go to restaurants, because he always gets bothered in restaurants and people want to get signatures and pictures. He'll usually book a private room somewhere. So he goes to a restaurant where it's got like a private dining area. They'll come in through the back and they'll all eat there and hang out and drink, and he'll pay the bill and everything will be amazing. But he's very selective about where he goes. So he can't really go normal places. Can't really go hang out in normal places and do regular things with people and shit. He kind of has to make it, he kind of has to live in this weird little bubble. But Brendan has known Rogan for a while. Brendan only knew BGL for how long? 2 years? 3 years? Maybe 4? But let's say 3. Let's say 4 to be charitable. He's known BGL 4 years, and here he is spilling the beans on a pretty, I won't say intimate, but it's a private matter that's gone on between two former friends that are in this media world. It's hard to navigate. It's hard to figure out what to do, really. If one of your close friends, Alex Jones, turns out to be a little bit of a liar and a charlatan, and he does something crazy, and he gets found guilty in court, and it involves children, and you're Joe Rogan, you've got a Spotify deal that's still fresh, you don't want to fuck it up. It's a bit of a difficult situation. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's difficult for sure. But it's not going to be helped if you've got a friend that's spilling the beans to strangers, essentially. Because BGL is not a close friend. He's a stranger. And now BGL is in a situation where he's falling out with Brendan, and here he is leaking all this stuff that should be private. And that goes to show these guys, it's not I wouldn't say it's BGL's fault, it's most of these comedians, because they're so gossipy and chatty-patty, they're legitimately telling people that are just new in their lives information about friends that are really like, Long's friends, like actual friends, people they've known for ages. They're like willingly giving them bits of information that should be kept private to friendship groups. It's pretty horrible. So it goes to show that, if anything, if you're a comedian in that circle or in the JRE extended universe or in LA in general, if you want to keep secrets, just don't tell anyone. Maybe tell your partner or whatever, but don't tell anybody in the industry any secret whatsoever, because eventually it will get out. Because I'm sure this story, we've only found out about it now because BGL shared this clip, but I'm sure if you're involved in that kind of little scene of, comedy and Jerry Extended Universe and Bappaverse, I'm sure you would have heard this already. If you're about, you would have probably heard this story. Alex Jones was trying to get on Rogan. Rogan aired him a lot, wasn't answering back his texts, and then Alex Jones ambushed him when they were at dinner and tried to basically pressure Joe Rogan to get him to be on the show again, and Rogan basically chucked him out of the restaurant. I'm sure people have heard that story. And look at them, because they're all chatty patties. They're all chatty patties, and it's absolutely horrible. So really, Brendan, as much as Brendan thinks he doesn't have any real friends, Rogan probably is even worse. Because his guy in terms of Brendan is here spilling the beans to a new friend who he doesn't even know. Does Rogan even know fucking Brendan? Does he? Does Rogan even know? Does Rogan even know BGL? Probably doesn't. But he knows every intimate thing about him. Anyway, let's look at the disclaimer. It looks like BGL's been responding to some of the comments online. What did he say here? I haven't read this. BGL says here, after the video got put out, and I guess he got some response. For anyone complaining that I'm airing out, oh my God, how much text has he written here? Should I press read more? Let's see how much text it is. Oh, okay, cool. One paragraph. For anyone complaining that I'm airing out personal stuff, it's not a good look for me. I'm just giving Bappa a taste of his own medicine. He would constantly use private stories of stuff that happened behind the scenes involving me or retell anecdotes directly from my personal life as fodder for entertainment on his podcast. And typically, they were full of exaggeration, lies, insults, and both direct and indirect. This is what Brendan believes in. Other people's personal lives and stories should be aired publicly on YouTube for entertainment. Right, Papa? And this doesn't even make him look bad. Just thought it was a funny story, and the Alex Jones impression makes me laugh. I'm like Gorilla with two rocks smashing them together. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Like I said before, I don't really know the answer. I really wish some of you guys in the chat maybe could pontificate. What do you think is BGL Mark Harley's issue here? Because he seems to mention this a lot. He has an issue with Brendan for getting on stage and telling jokes that aren't necessarily true. Which I think is a bit weird of a stick to beat Brendan with, because we all know he's severely unfunny and shouldn't be doing stand-up in the slightest and is devoid of talent, clearly. But this whole kind of lying on stage by making it seem like it's a real thing as a joke, that's an integral part of comedy. Like, everyone does that. They punch up stories, they punch up anecdotes, they just fabricate entire things just to like it just is what it is, right? It's not that big of a deal. But BGL seems to have a big bone to pick about Brendan doing it. He doesn't like it. Now, the other part of it could be self-explanatory, because he did mention that Brendan said something in one of his jokes where he basically gave the impression that BGL was sending out dick pics. And obviously at the time, or even now, he's in a relationship, which obviously isn't great. So it kind of makes him look bad because, you know, the lady's thinking, what, when you're on the road, what are you doing, kind of thing. But that's maybe one incident. But overall, he seems to really have a real bee in his bonnet about the whole, like, telling stories behind the scenes and then doing it on stage. I wonder what that's about overall. He seems to not like that in the slightest. But in general also, this message is also a clear indication and reminder that BGL absolutely hates Brendan now. Like, to the core. And that's why sometimes I don't really have a lot of time for BGL, because I feel like at the time I kind of did respect him in a way, because I felt like, hey, if you're going to be Brendan's friend, despite knowing how much of a douchebag he is, that's somewhat honorable. The fact that you're willing to be someone's friend and be with them and kind of hold them down, even though you know for the most part, you can kind of get why people don't like him. You understand, but you know, you look past it because that's your boy. But then once they fell out, he then started to immediately run to and kind of attack him the way like anybody else would that doesn't really know him too well. I'm not really too sure about that, but this might just all, I might just be answering my own question. This might just do with the money. Because I remember someone mentioned the other day, like even I was saying, like if I was owed a $5, £10, £20, I would be throwing the craziest wobbler online. So I can't imagine if you're BGO and you're being owed, was it like 10 grand or something? He said, I don't know how much it is, 15. It's in the thousands. Like how crazy that would make you act, and how kind of, you know, reckless and willing to just lay out anything you do just to kind of get your money back, to get a reaction and get the person to kind of acknowledge you. That might be the thing. But yeah, let's see some of the replies. I think his reply was it Jesus Christ or stupid? What is he saying here? I want to see what other people are saying to him about this. Let's see, because it looks like the replies haven't been the greatest. It looks like, because if he's addressing it that way, I think other people might. Okay, oh, okay, cool. There we go. There's other posts that have been upvoted. So let's just see the other ones that have been upvoted. That might give us a better indication of what the general climate is like, what people responded that video into. But to me, again, it just made me think that these comedians are, number one, they're chatty patties. Number two, no one really has any friends in that circle because everyone tells each other secrets. So yes, it's a little bit of a shit show with these guys. But let's see what is said here.
Yo, so
no, shut up, enough, Brendan. Let's see what the if you wanted to hurt me, brother, you hurt me. Let's see what they're saying here below. Let's see what the most upvoted ones are saying. Number 2, what's that one? The 6 here. You're only at 20k views. You need to buy another 980k if you don't hit 1 million. That's a good little Brendan diss there. You're a despicable human. You confided in you as a friend, calling his bro, and this is what you do with it. Embrace the karma coming your way. I don't think that's fair. Like I said before, I just think it's just funny. It's more so on Brendan, to be honest. Why are you telling your friend of 10 years business to your friend you just met the other day? That's the thing I don't understand. I think BJ's free to do what he wants with it. It's Brendan more so. He's out here really telling fucking Joe Rogan's business, which makes you believe that whole slanging dick thing was true. Keep the leaks coming, Mark. You're funny. We welcome you with open arms, Marg. Okay, people seem to be enjoying it. I don't know. What's the chat saying? What do you guys think of that little clip from BGL? Do you care? Are you bothered? Not really. Let me know. Let me know. What you got here? Well, the bench press already done. Let's do the Schaub Chronicles. Let's do that clip. That Schaub Chronicles clip is quite good actually. I'll check that. What do you guys say in the chat? Confronting, she's pretty attractive. People talking about house socials. I don't know. Socials. She made comments. Okay, cool. People talking about honestly, Addies has been some of the best banter I've seen online ever, man. Honestly, so good. So BGL's done what needs to be done with that regard. To be honest, well up to BGL. We love and appreciate you, sir. So let's continue here. Okay, cool. So we're gonna say, oh yeah, let's do the Chronicles. Let's watch this Schaub Chronicles. And how long have I gone here? Oh, 3 hours. Yeah, cool. I got to go as well. It's about nearly 5 a.m. God Almighty. So let's watch this as well. Schaub Chronicles. This is quite long. 14 minutes. Cool. Let's watch this. Curse to find a kid. Subreddit. Schaub Chronicles. I think you'd be surprised. So I think this is the one after. This is the clip that kind of summarizes when obviously Brendan had that chat with Rogan after the Travis Brown fight. I only found out recently, watching the clip. I didn't know. It's blew my mind. I didn't know that Brendan got beat up by Travis Brown. That was his last fight in the UFC. That knockout that he suffered from Travis Brown, who was then his ex-girlfriend, you know, what's her name? Ronda Rousey's new boyfriend. That's how he lost. That's how he got kicked out of fucking the UFC. That's how he left the UFC. Imagine going out on that, a loss to your ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend, after all the trash talking he was doing as well. God Almighty, man. And then the first show after, when you go on Joe Rogan, he's telling you to quit. Brutal. The game is brutal. I didn't know it was this brutal. I didn't know he was breaking it down to this level. I just thought he said something like, hey man, you got all these options out here. Because that's how Brendan says it now. Brendan kind of smooths it out and says nowadays that it was more so like, you have all these options. You shouldn't be getting brain damage there. You know, you've got podcasting going, it's popping for you. But if anything, Joe Rogan was telling him, hey, you're not good at this fighting shit. Like, if anything, he confirmed what Travis Brown's coach said. Where he said that comment, I think Brendan can't fight for shit. The one that Ariel kind of, asked him about. He kind of confirmed that, like the conversation around, the UFC kind of training camps were, this guy was a good athlete. He was big, he was strong, but he just wasn't the guy when it comes to fighting. Do you know what I mean? Like, they all kind of didn't really rate him that highly. And that's what kind of Joe Rogan's saying. Like, you can't fight. You're kind of terrible at this. You should give it up now. Not that, you got 1 foot out, 1 foot in, you're creative. No, it's like, I don't care what you do after this. You have to quit UFC. This isn't for you.
That happens when you get a guy who's trained.
Hold on, sorry, one last thing. This might explain also why Brendan was so harsh on that CM Punk guy. Do you remember when CM Punk went to the UFC? I know it was stupid, and Dana was obviously, doing what Dana does and, fucking whoring out the sport and cheapening it and get a celebrity on there. But CM Punk came into it quite respectfully. He was he was trying to get better. Obviously, he was never going to get better. He got smoked completely when he did. I think he had 2 fights only in the octagon. But Brendan was weirdly super critical and harsh. Like, really harsh, to the point of being really rude. Like, he took it personally that CM Punk was getting a shot at the UFC. But this might explain it because of the conversation that he got from Rogan. He was kind of maybe projecting.
I think
honestly, why did he have this conversation with him about comedy? But that's the thing with Brendan, right? Unfortunately, I think we all have to kind of learn this lesson from him as a kind of like a life lesson. I think it's really important to not be delusional and to also be somebody that's willing to receive constructive criticism without getting your feelings hurt, and to not take stuff personal, and to not just be a narcissist. Because one of the really glaring things, I think I might have to make a clip about it, one of the really glaring things that's really bizarre and I thought really solidified and my reason why I stopped listening to Fighting the Kid was Brendan's admission when he admitted after the fact, like many years after. I think it's a recent show. I think they're having a conversation with Brian Callen, and he admits on the because that's the thing that everyone was saying when "You Be Surprised" came out. A lot of people were saying, even on the forums, people that don't like Brendan were like, "How did he get this? How did he release this? How did Brendan watch "You Be Surprised" the recording and think, yeah, this is good? Like, why did he think it was a good idea to do a special after 2.5 years doing stand-up, especially his type of like comedy, like stories, anecdotes, that kind of bro humor? Why did he think he'd be polished enough in 2 years to present a special? Why would you do that? And why did he watch the recordings and think that was good enough? And then we got our answer many years after, when Brendan admitted himself that Joe Rogan and Brian Callen told him he shouldn't take that Showtime deal. They said, don't do it. Everybody around him said it. And how did Brendan respond? What was his interpretation when they said that? Brendan Schaub thought they were jealous of him. He thought because of the time when Brendan, because again, I was a fan at that time, when Brendan was getting started in stand-up, Brian wasn't doing too well. He wasn't selling out places. He wasn't doing too well in his Hollywood career because he wasn't cancelled at that time. The rapes didn't happen. And Brendan was absolutely smashing it. He was getting booked everywhere because he's Rogan's pal, because he brings a crowd with the T-Fat-K people, and he was a novelty new act. He was getting booked everywhere. Maybe places he shouldn't even be performing at. He was performing at the Comedy Store all the time. So because of that, they had banter on the show, Brian and Brendan. Oh, I sell more tickets, you don't sell tickets. It was a continual banter. So when Brian said to him, hey, take the Showtime deal, he legitimately thought, no, I'm going to take it. You're just jealous because I'm selling out places more than you. I'm doing little mini theaters and you're still doing like restaurants and casinos. That's the issue. So, you know, for me saying, oh, why didn't Joe Rogan have this talk with him in comedy? He couldn't, because he didn't really take this conversation too well. And after the fact, he tried to spin it a certain way. And with the comedy stuff, he probably thought, you know what? I already made him quit one career. I'm not going to then ruin another one. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going to, like, you know, hopefully he figures out on his own. But he did enough. Like, he kind of helped him out in the most important thing he had to quit was UFC, because he could have legitimately got brain damage. So he stopped that. That's fair. But the comedy, I can't do nothing. Because for sure, Joe Rogan saw that first special. He couldn't have liked it either. But he didn't have that conversation with him after the fact. But it's just interesting to see this.
You'd be surprised.
I think you'd be surprised.
This sucks for you. It's hard to hear.
That's
you know?
maybe the worst show I've ever done.
It's hard to hear, but
I don't necessarily, and you know me, you're my boy. I don't agree with everything you're saying either.
Okay.
You're my boy, okay. But look how handsome, look how skinny he looks. This is not whiskey, not many food trucks, you know? Man, honestly, alcohol is a real silent killer, man. It really is. Again, that's another thing we need to note from this. Be open to criticism. Don't be hard-headed. Don't be a narcissist if you can avoid it. And also, drink and eat in moderation. We all like to booze, myself included, as you can see from from that donation thing there on the side. You know what I'm about. But all in moderation. Work hard, play hard. Monday to Friday, I stick to a pretty strict regimen. On the weekend, I can get a bit loopy, but not every day whiskey, not every day food trucks. And this is what happens, because this guy was legitimately handsome. This guy was a cute looking dude. Cute guy, this one. Eyes, you know, ahead of him, enunciating properly, not slurring his words. But then 5 years of drinking whiskey every day, swigging it from a bottle, and eating food trucks all the time when he's filming his show, allegedly when he's on a diet. Look what's happened to him. Look at Brian being the consummate pussy. Joe Rogan did what friends should be doing. Even though we're laughing, that's an actual real friend. This is when they were friends. I think ever since Brendan, you know, did the whole loose lips, sink ships thing, and fucking talked about, you know, bull guy slanging dick, I don't think their relationship has ever been the same, in my opinion. Obviously, added to the fact of that, the fucking Bobby Lee thing definitely didn't help, because I think Joe Rogan for the first time realized these guys are out here fucking besmirching my name. They're out here using my name as like an intimidation tactic. They're out here using my name as like a bully thing. Like, nah, I'm not for that. So I think he's been off of Brendan since then. But this is what a real friend should do. Real friends should be able to talk to you in this manner without you catching feelings. Because if your real friend can't tell you this, no one outside is going to be able to tell you this. But Brian is also Brendan's real friend. He didn't have the guts or the courage to say this to him. He waited until Joe Rogan did it, and then he's coming at the back. Yeah, I'm just happy that you just pick a career that you can Hey, sorry, Brendan. Please don't kill me or Chris Benoit, me and my family. I'm just happy. Look at him in the background. Nah, man. Always the weasel. Always the weasel. Joe Rogan took the risk of like, hey, this could end our friendship. Brendan could not want to be my friend anymore, which is impossible because he's the clout demon. But this could happen. I'm gonna risk my friendship because I love this guy. I want to make sure he's healthy. I want to make sure he's making the right decision for his life and for his family. I'm gonna say the uncomfortable truth. Brian, and me as well. I want to say one more thing. Get out of here. Wow, look at these headlines. Rogan tears apart Brendan Schaub on podcast. You're not an elite fighter. Rogan talks with Brendan Schaub. What's as real as it gets. Jesus Christ. Joe Rogan to Brendan Schaub. You're not an elite fighter. Update. UFC analyst Joe Rogan guested on Brendan Schaub's The Fighting the Kid podcast on Monday evening. Oh, it was their podcast on Joe Rogan's show. Oh my God. That might be, oh my God. Think about this, guys. That might be the last time Joe Rogan was on The Fighting the Kid, technically. Because he does it a lot. He does it with Tim Dillon, does it with Lex Friedman. Sometimes he's saying, hey, just come on my show, on my studio, and we'll just record your show there and I'll give you the taping. That was maybe Joe Rogan's last appearance on The Fighting the Kid was when he told Brendan to quit. Yo, that is so rude, man. And he's never, I wonder why he doesn't go on The Fighting the Kid. Honestly, laughing aside, if I'm Brendan and Brian Callen, I'll be a little bit annoyed. Why hasn't he ever guested on there? He's gone on Theo Vaughn's show. He's been on Your Mum's House. He's gone to the Theo Vaughn studio. No, has he sat down with Theo Vaughn? No, he hasn't. Anyway, he sat down with Your Mum's House. He sat down with who? Mike Tyson. I can't think of someone else he sat down with. But he doesn't sit down with, he's never gone on the Fighting the Kids show, ever. Ever. Yeah, exactly, Carlos Lucas. It's like you have a rich friend who never wants to come to your house. Exactly. Why? Just come to mine. I've got the best stuff. Just come to mine. Look at this meme. Oh my God. They replaced Joe Rogan's head on Ben Rothwell. When he did, that's a famous one where he's grabbing the thin air. The headline, Brendan's hilarious Wikipedia edit after Rogan's verbal beatdown. Wow. Look at the record. Oh my God, the editor's record. No, Joe Rogan, VKO, verbal knockout. Oh my God, man. Damn, son. Damn. Okay, that must have been quite hard, right? So I'm looking at his record now. Brendan actually beat Ben Rothwell. Oh, no, so I don't know who that guy was before. No, sorry, lost. Sorry, won. Sorry. Brendan came off of the Ben Rothwell loss. That horrible knockout where he's grabbing to thin air. And he went on a 2-win streak. Lamar Johnson and Matt Mitrione, 2 legit people, right? He beat. So it's no surprise that he was feeling like, I still got something. Because he came back from pretty horrible losses from Nogueira and Rothwell. 2 wins against decent opposition. And then he goes on a 2-loss strike. You know what I mean? Like, damn, son.
This Spider and the Kid sponsored by antidepressants. Some people are feeling real sad right now. Real sad right now. Brendan Schaub's feeling real low.
Brian could never do that to Brendan now. The dynamic is so different. He could never do that to Brendan now. He'd be too scared to do it. Too scared.
But I think he knows that sometimes that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes after a fight. Hey, Brennan, I hope I'm a help to you since I'm your best friend.
You're the worst best friend ever.
Damn it.
The worst.
Brian Callen here, the worst best friend of all time.
The worst best friend of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, The Fighter and the Kid, after that sensational podcast that we released. That has now, I think everybody in the world's heard it.
It really escalated.
Yeah. And I just want to start this podcast by saying that when we recorded that with Joe, I didn't expect Joe to be that frank you didn't expect Joe to be that open and frank. And sorry I wasn't any help.
You did nothing. Nothing. Let me paint the fucking scenario here. Brian texts me before we walk in, goes, "Don't worry, man, I got your back. Don't worry, I got your back. I would never let anything happen to you like that." So then we're sitting down, and Rogan just literally, I mean, just thrashes me to the fullest extent. And I'm tapping Brian, like, for sure chime in.
You were going like this. You were going, huh. And I was like, let's change the subject.
Well, you know why I was going, huh. Because if I would have spoke, you would have heard me crying. I was trying not to cry.
Yeah.
So maybe this explains, again, thinking about it now, because people are saying here, you can't take Brian to the trenches, Brian, but yeah. Let's do a little bit of like crazy theorizing here, because I like to do that sort of stuff. This might explain why Brian flew out. Yeah, it's people saying Brian slivers. This might explain why Brian jumped out of a fucking 20-story window when it came to defending what's his face. When it came to defending Brendan to Bobby Lee, and why he attacked Bobby Lee on the phone, said some unspeakable things to him that now Bobby Lee basically does not want anything to do with Brendan or Brian, especially Brian, because he's known Brian longer. They're actual friends. So instead of Brian mediating the issue between Brendan and Bobby Lee and whatever else was going on, he instead flew out the window. Maybe that's why, because in the back of his head, he knew he let down Brendan all this time ago and wanted to kind of prove to him, hey, I can be a real friend. I can hold you down. I can have your back, because when you're a friend with someone, you're meant to have their back, whether they're right or wrong. And even when they're wrong, they're right. And in that instant, he didn't. So now he's like, okay, I'm going to show you that I'm a real friend. Bobby, you little short, you fucking get your bitch in line, get your woman, all this sort of stuff. You went crazy on Bobby on the phone because he never did it and never stood up to Joe at the time. Maybe.
I was trying not to cry, and I was thinking to myself, my phone blew up. I had 45 text messages from friends, family, people going, "Walk out right now. Don't take this. Walk out right now." I thought, no. Joe's a good buddy. Brian,
why would he, again, what kind of friends does he has in his social group that would tell him to walk out? It was a bit brutal, but why would you walk out? It wasn't rude. It was just blunt. It was what real friends should be doing. Why would you walk out of that? It says a lot about the guy, innit? Walk out.
That's good, buddy. He's just a pussy. I'll figure something out. I'll figure something out.
Here's what I really appreciate, and here's what the point I was trying to make. I said you have to.
I'm a pussy.
That, and it was really hard for Joe. I mean, Joe was bummed out. We were talking, and I said after we recorded, I said we don't have to air this, Brendan. I said it. Yeah, it was.
It was really hard for Joe. Brian, come on, man.
But we cannot air this, and we don't have to put this up. And you said, no, post it. You know, and I thought that was, I really appreciated that, because it was like, for you.
This version of Brendan would never post it, by the way. Maybe he'd do it for the clicks, but I don't think he would. If he feels like he's getting embarrassed, he wouldn't do it.
It seems like you're willing to not only get the debate out there, but just kind of, you're not afraid. At the end of the day, you know who you are.
Listen, so I feel like as hard as this is and as shitty as this is, man, and as hard as it's not to cry and whatever, I feel like I owe it to the fans to take them on this journey, and I promise it's going to help someone. It's going to help for me. It's also a way to cope with this loss is talking. I mean, you're a terrible listener, but for me, it's a way to talk to people out there. You know, even this mic, I know it's reaching ears, and people are listening now on their phones or at work, something like that, who get it and are interested in this journey. This is part of professional sports, man. I've been competing for 25 years of my life. 25 years, man. I've been an athlete.
God.
25 years.
Yeah.
I've had ups and downs. Oh, you don't think I've had my back against the wall in the UFC? You don't think when I lost to Ben Rothwell for my second fight in a row?
Yeah.
You don't think I've heard this all before? You don't think people were telling me I should stop then?
Exactly.
I've been here, man. We're going to be fine. I promise you.
What are your thoughts on what Rogan said about Schaub? Because he seemed to be generally worried about his health.
Yeah, I think
oh my God, the
tough part about it is in front of millions of people. Maybe not televised, but on his podcast, and it went viral. You know, that's something where you just got your ass whooped, and then on top of that, somebody's pouring some salt in the wound, you know, not behind closed doors, but publicly. You know what I mean? Because it would be hard for.
Travis Brown seems like a good guy, man. He seems like a cool dude. He could take that moment to really dunk on him, but you know, he just rigged on him a little bit and kept it moving. But God Almighty, man, I didn't know it was that brutal. Wow. So big up the homeless cat that put that together. Absolutely amazing. What a good way to kind of surmise that whole experience. And it was actually worse than I remember. Legit. It was worse than I remember. It was absolutely brutal. But I don't think it was brutal enough for you to walk out. It's just like, you know, you don't expect your friend to tell you that stuff on camera in front of the fucking whole world to see. You think it'd be like a private matter, but Joe Rogan wasn't having it. He wasn't having it in the slightest. So yeah, man. What can you do? What can you do? Anyway, that has been the random show. That has been the random show for the most part. Oh, last thing, I got to check out that guy's video. What's that guy's video? The Clipper. Let me see the Clipper's video, and then I'm going to leave. The Clipper wants me to watch something about Jesse on fire. Jesse on fire. Okay, cool. Let's see. Let's see the Jesse on fire thing before I duck out. Bear with me 1 second while I get this up on here. Hope it's flipping worth the bloody wait. Honestly. Honestly. Let's get on. What's the set called? The Clipper, right? The Clipper. Sorry, it's up on the screen, my bad. The Clipper. Let's see. Okay, the Clipper. Let's see, Jesse on fire. Jesse on fire. Bear me a second while I get this up on here. Jesse on fire. What's that? On court lying. Is that the one? Is it here? Oh, maybe what's that? The Clippers. Okay, cool. Maybe it's the Clippers. Someone's saying here. Ucha's saying. No, I think it's this guy. I think I remember the logo. I'm pretty sure it's this guy. The Clipper. I remember the logo. Let me see what it says here. Yeah, that's the one. Caught in grooming sting. Let's see this. Chest on fire, grooming. Yeah, let's see. I've not noticed. I don't know what it's about. What's this about?
The door.
This is the best video I've ever done.
Sokol is no pizza delivery man. The door.
This is the best video I've ever done.
Sokol is no pizza delivery man. Cops say he's here to meet a 13-year-old girl.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Sokol drove all the way from Boston to our creepy reply. I like it. Your hands are cute. Sokol knows the girl is 13, and he says he knows what he's doing is illegal to 13-year-old girls like this. You know, I could be put in jail if the police found out we were intimate. The only way police would know if we ever got intimate is if someone saw us together or you told the police. Not by me. Blank that.
Really nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Hey yo, what have you got me watching, my guy? What the flip is this? Is this like a what is this, man? Like I thought it was actually something that he done. You're just making this shit up. What is this?
I'll settle into it.
We can talk about this afterwards.
One thing, I'm a worm that'll fit in anything because I would be like a really small one.
Yeah.
Getting arrested is if we got married, LOL. If you were married to me right now, then I wouldn't be breaking the law.
It's never cool to hook up with a teenager, obviously. And I was like, but the only thing where you can get redemption is if you're still with her, the same girl, all along when she's 30 years old. It's like,
whoa! Did he say that? No way. Did he actually say that? Is that Jesse on fire on the street, on the live? If you hook up with a minor when she's a minor or when they're underage, it's okay if you then stay with them until you're married. What?
And I was like, but the only thing,
The law.
it's never cool to hook up with a teenager, obviously. And I was like, but the only thing where you can get redemption is if you're still with her, the same girl, all along when she's 30 years old. It's like, they clearly.
This explains everything then. This explains why he's so in love with Brendan. He loves that whole crew of people, Crystal Lee, all that stuff. This explains it. They're all in the same fucking, they're all swimming the fucking same valley of sickoness. They're all, as Brendan said, they're all in the same stew of fucking creepo, pedo, weird shit. What the fuck statement is what statement is that? What kind of backward pedo logic is that? What? If she's underage but you marry her later, that makes it okay. Isn't that what grooming is, you fucking weirdo?
A fucking kitty predator, dude. Yeah. Like, he has no history.
Wait, what?
Creeping on
I don't think that. What? That's weird. Yeah,
I met Gabrielle when she was.
that's weird. Do you know why you're here?
What the fuck is going on?
Do you know why you're here, Mr. Jesse?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Me, Chris Hansen. Have a seat. Have a seat.
I like, dude. Like I said,
have a seat.
I'm hurt, dude.
Have a seat.
I'm hurt. I don't need to fucking debate him.
Have a seat.
Debate him about what?
Go get him, Chris Hansen.
I'll get to that in a minute. Who are you?
What the fuck
He's
is
so
going on?
relaxed and convinced of his innocence, he eats a slice of pizza.
Tell me who you are, because, you know, I didn't know there would be other people here.
Well, what did you expect to happen here tonight, Jeff?
Didn't have any expectation.
No expectations whatsoever.
No.
So you drove 2.5 hours?
Sure did.
From Boston.
Are you her dad?
To meet a young girl.
Are you her dad?
I will get to that in a minute. You want to marry her? What do you mean you don't know she's 13?
I don't know. I was just throwing things out.
Then you'd marry a 13-year-old girl because she's really cool and you could have sex.
After a while, if it worked out, yeah.
I'm Chris Hansen. And this is an investigation. So if there's anything else you want people to know, anything you want to say, now would be a good time to say it.
I like, dude. Like I said, I'm hurt, dude. I'm hurt.
I can't believe this happened.
Well,
isn't it funny? Again, just a random comment. Isn't it funny the amount of sickos and weirdos when they get caught doing something bad, that they immediately play victim? Don't you find that funny? I don't know where that clip's from, but don't you find it funny the how willing they are to like get straight to the fucking victim shit? Like, you know, Bob Brent's just being the same example. Like, that's not nice. Do you know what I mean? That's not nice. Like, straight away, like, you get caught out and doing something, you get called out, instead of just admitting your wrongs and trying to do better. No, victim. But somebody hurt my feelings too. But she was looking really cute in the pictures. It's like, what? She was 13.
Jeff, believe it, is booked, fingerprinted, and poses for a mugshot. Cops read him his rights.
Anything you say or statements you make may be used against you.
He waives his right to remain silent, and the arrogance he displayed during my confrontation comes out in the police interrogation.
I was going to have sex with her tonight. We talked about having sex, but that doesn't mean...
Isn't that strange?
That doesn't mean I was going to. Tonight. It's the only way it would be legal.
You're gonna marry a 13-year-old girl with her mother's permission. Maybe.
Gabrielle was there.
Just see on fire on the ground, on the groove, or a neighbor lock. I just see on fire on the what the one the groove, or a neighbor lock. He got hot, hurry on the ground, back pocket on the neighbor lock. We got the just see on fire on the ground, on the groove, or the neighbor lock. She said, she the best. She the best, she don't pass the test because the test.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Well done, Clipper, man. That was fucking hilarious. Oh, that was really good. That was really good. I give you a 10 out of 10, sir. That was really good. Very creative. It kind of started off a bit sicko. I was getting worried there. I thought my channel was gonna get taken down. I thought I was gonna hear sirens outside my window. But after the dodgy start, it did well. It did pretty well. Colonizer reggae. No, that's the kind of reggae you hear like in that's the kind of reggae you hear in the brewery. You know those breweries where they have like all the beer kegs out and you see them, and they have those really high tables, and they usually maybe have like little pickles they sell you and shit. You hear that kind of reggae? One love. Oh. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you so much for tuning into the AgostinhoZinga Show episode number. Is it 84? I think, right? 84. Is it 84? Yes, it is 84. So thank you for tuning into the AgostinhoZinga Show episode number 84. I appreciate every single one of you. If you've been tuning in and you've enjoyed what you're watching, please make sure that you like the stream, please. That'd be greatly appreciated. And of course, if you would like to get more information about myself and to like see some other stuff that I do, please also go to my main channel page, which you can see like this. Scroll down and then subscribe to the Random Show channel, please. Subscribe to Random Show channel because I'm going to upload this whole stream in full on there. It's going to get unlisted on here, so you won't be able to see it. So make sure that you check it out on the Random Show channel. So make sure you're subscribed on there. I'm also putting clips on there, and then over time, I will make sure that I flip in, what's that thing called? Populate and start streaming on this specifically for this show, and then keep the AgostinhoZinga Show for my own thing. So make sure you go on there if you can. But apart from that, thank you for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate every single one of you. Let me do my little leaving shout outs. Big up Dark Web J, Uche, Alan N, Andrew W, Charles Lucas. What's Alan N said to me? Ago, you look like one of those car balloon things. Thank you. I take that as a compliment. Thank you, Alan N. Car balloon thingy. Fucking hell. Charles Lucas, big up you. Big up Free the Commons. Big up the Clipper, of course. James Banks, Mr. Singh. Big up Never Believe Government. Big up Joe D. The Flame. Big up everybody that's in. Big up MKRCIVOJ. Big up Classy Nasty. Big up Tony Sled. Who else is on here that I'm missing out on? Eddie D, of course. Big Nin 77. Big up your chest, of course. Being a member. Big up everybody that's here, man. I appreciate every single one of you. I do appreciate all of you. I really do. I really, really do. I really, really do. Oh, what did I do here? I think I did something wrong, didn't I? Oh, damn it. I did something wrong. Undo. What did I do? I did something wrong here, didn't I? Oh, shit. God damn it. What did I do here? Fuck. Okay. I think I fucked it up a little bit. I think I pressed someone's name accidentally and hid it. Oh, yeah. How do I change this? Anyway, I'll do it later in the chat. But yeah, big up everybody in the thing. I appreciate all you guys again. I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Make sure you smash the like for me. Bye.